Hello?
Have we begun the stream?
Hello?
The stream made it to the day. I think we've made it to the day. How's it going?
Hello? What's up, man? How you doing? Say it again.
Is your mic working over there?
Hello? Check.
Can you hear yourself?
Hello? Crocs. 1, 2, Crocs.
There we go.
Crocs. The Crocs.
That's the chair that you came up with?
To a crispy crisp.
You've been working on that chair for 2.5 weeks, and you said it was going to be top tier, and that's what you've come up with.
Well,
Crocs. What was the rest of it?
The Crocs are fried. The Crocs are fried to a crispy crisp.
Well, now we know why they pay you the big bucks.
The criminal was wearing Crocs in the basement.
Was that the murder weapon?
The criminal was wearing Crocs in the basement murder.
Okay, is that what they were wearing or what they used?
The clock was smashed by his clumsy Crocs.
All right, I'm just going to ask the question straight up. In the board game Clue, where do the Crocs fall into Clue?
Library.
Okay, they're in the library. But are they a weapon?
No.
Or
they are merely a comfort device. God's perfect comfort device.
Gotcha. Okay. I was just making sure. I was like, because, there's part of me that's like Squid Game. Yeah. Everybody gets a pair of Crocs and they're like, 100%. You must unlive everybody using only your Crocs.
Oh, wow. That's an interesting. Yeah. What if they were in one big bowl that was made of Crocs material?
Oh, man. Now we've got a show on our hands. I think this might derail the stream if we go too deep here.
Chat. What are y'all watching us talk about Crocs? That was a private conversation.
Wait, you did start the stream?
Oh, God. Hello.
Oh, my God. Hello and welcome to the day.
Chat.
We've got a stream planned for you today that is not related to Crocs, that is related to 69 likes. See what I did there?
I do like that. I was showing them my Croc. Ladies and gentlemen, we have got a hell of a show for you tonight. There is one topic that's on everyone's mind right now, and that is play boosters. Play boosters. Why is the cost of my draft going up? Well, I've done a lot of digging. We got a lot of numbers. I found some really cool articles. I found some really great breakdowns of the finance, of the economics of the whole thing, talking about the cost impact of it, talking about the limited impact of it. I think I have found some context and some information for us that will make us sort of at ease with the entire thing, at the very least until it's released and we can try it for ourselves, because that's, Jake, that's really going to be the ultimate test on this, right?
Yeah, I would say so. I would definitely say once we have the product in hand, because the idea from reading is that the cards should have more value because there are more rares and or mythics in these packs.
Right.
There's also a list slot. So there are these factors that come into play that could make it a really good experience. But at the baseline, you know, if my pre-release, for example, is going to go from a $30 experience to a $50+ experience, that could be an issue for a lot of people.
Right.
I foresee that being, I mean, that's the issue, right? Is that the draft experience, I mean, I'm sure there's some people that are annoyed by how the contents are changing.
I would
in
say
the
box
pack,
price. Box price. That's really
box
it. Because
price,
it's going to be a more expensive box than both
That's
draft
right.
and set boosters. And so I think that sort of summarizes all different versions of purchasing, whether it's a draft, whether it's just to purchase a pack. It all comes down to box price. And so, and I've got some good numbers and comparisons on that too. So hopefully we'll get some interesting stuff going. Y'all that are here at the beginning, let's go over the next week real fast, because we have got a lot going on over the next 2 or 3 weeks. Jake and I, we're going to the summit next Wednesday. Jake and I fly to Salt Lake City and we'll be there through Sunday for that event. If you are going to Summit, make sure you purchase a badge in advance on the website and use our creator code so that we get some benefit. You know, we just want to show them that we can sell some badges. So if you're thinking of going, make sure that you go use our code when you buy one online. But what that means is, since we're traveling on Wednesday, we won't be streaming next Wednesday, but never fear, we will still be streaming next week, because on Tuesday at midday Eastern, morning Pacific, will be the reveal of Ixalan.
I thought that was pronounced Pacific Standard Time.
Morning
correct?
Pacific Standard Time. We will be getting the Ixalan set, if you want the...
Well, that is not how that is pronounced. The new Ixalan set is what it is.
Ixalan is a Lost Caverns of Ixalan. We are getting that reveal.
Okay.
That reveal next Tuesday. So we will be live for that in the middle of your, or the beginning of your workday, depending on which coast you are on, or at some random time, depending on where you are in the world. Let's not forget our international viewers. Let me get some hands in chat for our international viewers. Make yourself seen.
We should have the entire grid pulled up. That way we can let everybody know in each time zone.
Yeah, just go one by one.
Be for that.
Yeah.
One by one.
This is going to be 9:30 a.m. y'all's time, 10:30 a.m. y'all's time, 11:30. Okay, yes. You know what? Here we go. I'm going to go through it real fast. Just listen for your time zone. Pacific through Eastern will be 9, 10, 11, 12. Going further over from that. The next one, see here, just listen out for yours. The next one will be...
Is that like Hawaii?
1. The next one will be 2. The next one will be 3. Listen for yours. No. The next one will be 4. Keep up with where we're at.
The next one will be 5.
We got some Canadians. We got some Germans. We know we got those Canadian brethren up there. Yo, no, Quantum, we haven't hit 69,420 yet, but we are working on it. Jake and I are focused really hard on the number 420.
Yes.
I would say like every day, Jake and I are thinking about 420. Jake, like every day, you would say, right? We're thinking about 420. And I'm referring to getting to the 420th subscriber of our 69,000th tier, right? That's what I mean. Nothing else.
This is going to be a day where I will personally be trying to get people to stop subscribing at that number. And I will be pleading with them and begging them and to not do it anymore.
This is where in the video we would ask you to subscribe, but what we want you to do is nothing. Continue watching.
Don't do anything.
Don't click buttons. We're at 69,420 and we'd like to stay there. Please. Thank you.
That's a cool premise for a movie. You have to get people to stop subscribing from your channel and get it below a certain threshold.
That's a cool premise for a movie. Do you think that is a wide audience applicable story?
Oh yeah,
Stop
dude.
people from subscribing to your YouTube channel.
People watched that movie on Zoom called Unfriended XL or whatever, where everybody gets killed on Zoom. So
Yes.
I'm sure that somebody would watch if you were trying to get people to stop subscribing, and it was like, do not get to 69,420. If you do, you and everybody that you know will be cut into pieces using only sporks. So imagine how difficult that's going to be getting killed by a spork. Don't get to 69,420. And so it's like you're organically growing, and so you have to go in there and you're like, please don't do it anymore.
We got to figure out how to
Please, but
slow down our subscriber rate as we get closer to 400
right.
so that we can
That's
catch
right.
it at the right time.
We have to. We have to.
All right.
If we miss it, I quit. I'm done.
So look,
100%.
that is what the next weeks are going to look like for us. We will be back live, not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that. So Wednesday, 2 weeks from now, we'll be back with our regularly scheduled show. But next week, we will not be live Wednesday night. We'll be live Tuesday midday. Again, dependent on your time zone. Check your TV guide. So,
because Wednesday we have to fly, so I'm sure, like me, Joel, you are training your arms to be ready, because we need to be ready for when we land. Everybody's going to say, how are your arms? You flew in. Are you tired? And we need to be able to say, well, no, we trained before and we flew in and we were ready to fly with our arms. So I just don't want to get there and have to have people be like, oh, you flew in. How do you feel? Are you tired? Because I hate that when that happens. Anyway. All right.
well, that's 29 seconds. We'll never get back, everybody. I think that going into this evening, though, we have got some pretty good stuff put together for you. I walked all the way to Salt Lake City, and boy, are my Crocs tired.
Wait, yes, that. We can't have that joke popping up. I need to be able to field that away. I want to be able to say, no, my arms are not tired.
Good. Shoulders are feeling loose.
Feeling like warmed up, maybe. Feel like I'm warmed up. I'm ready to fly over anywhere else with the same arms.
After our discussion of Play Booster, and here, look, with this discussion, y'all, I'm bringing some data, we're bringing some opinions, and we need y'all's input as well.
This were pronounced options.
I literally want to have a community summit here, much like the summit that we'll be going to next week. Hashtag creator feature, hashtag buy your badge, hashtag code JJAM.
No, they were supposed to guess the code.
Oh, shit.
But it is JJAM. So if you
had your money on that, you win the prize. This is going to be a summit on this discussion, because I feel like knee jerk is always in this space to just hate stuff, and that's fine if we end up at a point of we hate this. That's fine. That's not what we're trying to avoid or anything. But let's have a full picture of it. Let's make our decision of how we personally feel about it based on a full and conclusive look at the matter, taking in everyone's perspective.
I'm going to say this has positives and negatives.
Absolutely. I think that's why we can have a community meeting about it.
That's right. So if we do land on we hate it, that is okay.
That's fine.
But, I think most of the hatred for this product is going to come from the implied price point that it's going to be. This is going to make Magic across the board just bottom line more expensive for everybody. So if you are trying to like draft or go out and do limited, you should expect with the Play Booster it's going to be more expensive. But in theory, your cards should have more value. But as we know, especially if you follow Jake and Joel or Magic, then you know about the variant era, and you know what we've been talking about and whining about since 2019 with Throne of Eldraine. All of the extended arts, etched, surge, confetti, all these different types of variants, showcase foils for every single set. a lot of people just don't care and they just want a baseline copy of the card. And if they do want to pimp out the deck, most of the variants are pretty cheap. So whatever they put into these packs, this value that's supposed to make them better, maybe the list is going to hit a lot and there's going to be good slots on the list, but I don't know. Those are kind of my concerns to kick things off.
Remember, it's got to be draftable, dude. Remember, it's got to be draftable.
Right.
And then later in the stream, y'all, after we get that whole discussion sort of shelved, Jake and I have gone through and picked out. People have really liked these videos. The $1 variants, the $10 commander cards you should check out. Y'all have been enjoying those. We got some good feedback on those. So we brought another one of those back to you tonight. We got $5 variants, specifically variants of very playable commander cards that are all $5 or thereabouts. That's what we're going to do after we talk through play boosters. Real quick, all hail Mr. DJ Longhair. All hail New Stream Monarch.
Thank you for the super chat.
DJ, DM us, please. We'll chat about that. I actually think I have a 9 o'clock, but we'll see. DM us. So Jake, let's kick this off. I'm going to show you something. And this will sort
Chat,
of...
let us know if too many ads pop up, all right? Just making sure. Okay.
I want to take a look at this. So, Jose Lopez, MTGA grinder, cube designer, overall big Magic the Gathering fan, as you can see in their profile there.
Yes.
Sat through, there was a panel on Weekly MTG, and it was also in the Discord, that provided more information on these play boosters. So I wanted to start with that real quick. If you're just completely in the dark about what's going on, we had a video on this yesterday, but play boosters have been announced. Draft and set boosters are completely dead. By the time we get to the set Murders at Karlov Manor, which is after Ravnica Remastered, we will only have play boosters and collector boosters. That's it. There's a lot of implications to it. Again, go catch that video if you want sort of our initial reactions to it. But
draft and set will fuse together, become a play booster. It's mostly going to be a draft booster with set booster elements. And yeah, it's going to be a highly controversial thing because it's going to make Magic more expensive. However, they are saying that it's going to enrich the limited play experience. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see about that. That stands to be seen. They don't have to enrich it for me as much as just don't mess it up. Do what you want with the collectability. Do what you want with the packaging or SKUs or whatever. I think simpler is better, but keep limited good. Just keep it good.
Keep it good.
Done a pretty good
Mirror
job with
Ashes
that.
With the $5 super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Says play boosters might kill limited at my LGS. Nobody showed up for Lord of the Rings draft. So they just ran March of the Machine all summer.
That's
Hopefully
interesting.
we adapt, but I'm nervous. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, you know, we did discuss how it's going to make things easier for the local game store so that they're not going to have to pick between draft boosters, which are clearly for play, and set boosters, which are for people who want to open and have a better chance at pulling foils and different special cards, that kind of thing. For example, we're going to go to Lost Caverns of Ixalan, and in set and collector boosters, you're going to have a chance to find Mana Crypt. That's going to be where you can find the big premier commander card, and you can find it non-foil in set boosters. So if you knew, oh, I can buy a pack sitting on this shelf that's either a set booster or a draft booster, and I know 100% that the set booster has a chance at Mana Crypt and the draft booster has 0 chance, I'm probably going to pay a couple bucks extra for the chance to pull a high-end card.
Yeah, and the data that we're going to look at really supports that.
Right.
So play boosters, that's the general idea of them. They had a meeting on stream like they do. Blake was there with Morrow and some other people, and there was a lot more context given. So I think that we should establish the full context of the entire play booster, and then we can look at some of that data stuff and just kind of get our reactions as we go. So some of this really quickly, some markets have stopped ordering draft boosters from WotC altogether. That made sense. They already kind of hinted at that. Modern play design as it was evolving, they made it obvious that they could reduce the draft shaft in booster products, making the play boosters more exciting for them. And I thought this was interesting, Jake. Booster size was originally dictated by the printers, not limited design. So that is why that was never a choice for them. That was a dictate. And so them going down to 14 instead of 15, it makes sense that they just really don't care about it. Do you think is that surprising to you to learn?
It saves them, in theory, just based on the cards, 1/15 of the ink and the money, right?
Yeah,
the card
but
stock.
I think it's interesting that from a game design perspective for draft, the 15 card number was just arbitrary, pretty much. It was something given to them as you have to design by. We're going to give them 15 cards every time. And so going to 14, I really don't feel like it's going to be that big of a change. At least they don't.
You know, sometimes when you're drafting and you're in this like moment where you're on the fence and you're trying to figure out, you know, like, am I going to stay red green? I have a couple really good black cards and it looks like black is open, and you're trying to figure out, you know, is it going to be a Jund thing, or am I going to end up being green black by the end of this? Those last few picks can sometimes really help drafts like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like smoothing out those moments of indecision. But most of the time when I'm drafting and I know what my colors are early on, and I'm able to draft in a semi-focused kind of line of thinking, I never really have any problem having enough cards to go in the deck.
Yeah.
So I think for most players that are used to draft, and obviously sealed, it's not going to be really any different. I think it's not going to change very much, but I do think that it could lead to some people having a more difficult time deck building, but they'll just have to get over it.
So they are changing because of this change. They're changing how they design entire sets, which makes sense. They said one of the goals was to improve the quality of the commons, starting with Murders at Karlov Manor, which is where this all starts, eliminating sideboard style cards and fringe cards from that slot while increasing removal and playables. Commons should be all cards you want to play in a limited deck main board. So the goal for sideboard cards moving forward is that they'll be more modular and also appear at uncommon, so you see them less frequently. And more uncommons per set means that they can include a few more niche build-around cards per set that will appeal to enfranchised players who draft more. And so it feels like overall they're just like, guys, all we're going to have to do is cut the absolute crap cards out of our sets, and that's pretty much going to be it. There's going to be some more uncommons, but that just means that we can make more cards specific to that set's mechanics, which, I mean, if you want to transpose that to a commander line of thinking, that should make more niche decks have more playables. Having any card with like a Lord of the Rings that has anything to do with being a ring bearer, the more cards that you can get in that deck that say you're tempted by the ring, even if it's 4 mana, destroy target creature, the ring tempts you, more of those types of cards are going to make that commander deck more fun to play because you're going to get more synergistic options. And so it seems like a pretty easy change that's only going to be a net benefit. Is that how you're seeing it, or am I seeing it too optimistically?
I don't know, because, you know, we did say, Style Up here says we are only losing 3 cards.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in all at once.
Hey, Brandon, what's up?
Wizards they admitted that they knew early that set boosters were causing draft boosters to stop being ordered, but it took time to design and develop the play boosters. Price increase to match set booster pricing was locked in before the extra rares and guaranteed foils were even a thing. The latter exists to alleviate the pain of the former. And here's a quote: "Our job as the people making the game is trying to figure out what players want, what players need, and trying new things to meet those expectations." if we jump out then to making the packs more collectible, which is what they were talking about in this section, the list is dropping from 300 cards to 40 cards so that they can be localized into Japanese, and so that the cards can thematically tie in more easily to either the world or the limited environment. The full 40 list cards will change with each set. So Jake, we're gonna have to now, instead of like ignoring the changes to the list, I think we'll actually have a good time every set looking at what those 40 cards are on the list and kind of breaking down the percentages, which there's some data on what the percentage pull rates of these will probably be. But yeah, then this next part was even huger when I read it. Full 40 list cards will change for each set, and some sets might have no list and instead opt for a different bonus card slot. So
like when the special guest.
Exactly. When we speculated that special guest was completely preventing anything from like Mystical Archive or Enchanting Tales from existing, this is pretty much an admission that that's still on the table.
Yeah, I do like them being able to condense the list. I think that was important, because if you were lucky enough to get a list card in any of these other sets, there were a lot of times where you would get junk. Now, I know that we have had really good list hits. There's been like Cavern of Souls, Ancient Tomb, a ton of really good cards that have shown up on there. And if these 40, like thematically, if they have to tie them in with the set, make sure that they work with the limited environment.
Right.
Then I'm hoping that they'll at least curate it to where it's like if you do pull a list card, you have a 1 in 4 chance at pulling something really good. Right. Like something that sure works in your limited environment, but a 1 in 4 chance at something very strong off of this list, or else it's not going to add much pack value if it's just a rare that's worth 50 cents, something like that.
Yeah. They touched on the fact that they wanted the bonus sheet to be the list slot to be a draftable piece of it, which we talked about. I mean, Jake, it's like you said, it's got to be tied to the limited environment. If you've got Ikoria, for instance, had cycling and discard synergies, as did like Amonkhet, you're not going to want to put a bunch of +1/+1 counter stuff on the list if we're going to a set where cards being discard is the kind of like synergy that we need.
I got a doubling season. Right. It's like, this is great for my collection, but it does nothing.
I'm trying to win tonight so I can get some more packs, right? Arena's not going to get all the cards, which is a big duh. They're not going to put Mana Crypt in the Historic Brawl. And then this bottom line, the bonus commander cards. Now, these are the ones where they only appeared in set or collector boosters. They were not in the precons, but they were considered commander cards. You know what I'm talking about? Those are being completely done away with. Thank Bolus. We're done with those. And that they said that commander has got enough support. We don't need these random, not in the set, not in the precon commander cards in these boosters anymore. Are you going to miss those, or do you think that that's a good change like I do?
So what we're talking about here, are we talking about when you open a set booster and you get one of the cards that's from a precon? Is that what we're talking about here?
No. So like if you go to, let's go to Dominaria.
Yeah, show me exactly what you're talking about.
Really any of these, but I remember one, wasn't it like Titania, y'all? Wasn't this one Nature's Force? Yeah, this is an example of one right here. So what these were was considered part of the commander set. Chat, give me some more examples of these, like Green Sleeves and Dominaria as well. Oh, Root Path. You remember this thing? These things, this right here, these would always premiere at like $40 because people would get overhyped on the fact that they weren't in the precons, they weren't in the regular set. You could only get them in set or collector boosters, but they seeded them in well enough, unless they really got a super powerful one, which like for Wedding Ring, they just had to reprint it into the Doctor Who set. But
got it.
These are the ones, these are these one-offs that are considered commander cards, but aren't in the commander precons, and they aren't in the regular set. I don't know. It's just another simplification. If you're going to make it,
I like that change.
Yes.
That works for me. Yeah, I don't think we need that.
Yeah, it really doesn't make sense.
Hank says, I like the Commander and ancillary cards. It gave them an option to include cards that are specific to Commander, but that didn't fit any of the Commander precon colors. Yeah.
Rory liked my thank bolus. So let's check this out. Packs will contain slightly fewer tokens. The hope is that tokens will be reused across sets more regularly so you can carry them over. Okay, fewer tokens, whatever. 36 packs per box instead of 30 like a set box is because you get 3 full drafts for every 2 boxes with 36. 24 was considered, but the financials for box toppers stopped making sense at 24. So they are thinking in terms of 3 boxes being... No, sorry. They're thinking in terms of 2 boxes being 3 drafts, and that's why they settled on the 36.
Right.
Slightly more bombs and limited on average, both because of more rares in a draft, but also because they're going to increase power levels slightly. I don't know how we do that from where we're at.
More removal and answers, especially at common, aims to mitigate the risk of this. So we're going to have more removal to deal with the increase in
bombs,
the potential increase in bombs.
Yeah.
Which means that, oh man, for people like me who already go heavy removal, like you're going to have some pretty sweaty decks that are just stacked full of answers if people know what they're doing. We'll see how that pans out.
So these next 2 points are interesting from that discussion because they talked about how the intricacy and the complexity of the game is actually a draw of the game. And if you start new players out by teaching them the most simple, watered down version, that it's actually kind of boring for them. And they would prefer learning the dynamics and the intricacies of more complicated play. This point here, Commander's succeeding with new casual players partially because of that. And so cards with complex and cool unique mechanics are actually drawing new players in. So every time we complain about how much text is on cards now, they are getting good feedback for that. And so that is probably just going to increase, but they were using it to talk about...
everybody knows I can't even read. It's awful.
This was all talking about how they're trying to get new players into Magic via limited, and that's a new push. 95% of sealed play is pre-release, so they're not super concerned about play boosters hurting sealed. The pre-release boxes can be modified to help, so they can just kind of do whatever they want with the pre-release boxes. And then extra rares in the pre-release packs is very exciting for casual players. So while variance will increase a bit, they believe it'll be more exciting and fun for new players.
Yeah.
They talked about...
Brandon, it starts in Murders. Yeah. Murders at Karlov Manor is when this is going to kick off. We'll have special guest slot in Ixalan, but we won't have play boosters until Murder at Karlov Manor.
So they fully confirmed that bonus sheets are going to continue in the multiple sets that are currently being worked on that have bonus sheets. Pauper likely won't be impacted too much by the new structure. We're raising the floor at common, not necessarily raising the ceiling, which means, again, just they're cutting off the bullshit. They're cutting off the flack that nobody needs at the end. And then universes within stuff is gonna continue on. I thought that was some interesting further context for this whole discussion, because now we can look at the actual economics, the cost impact of what this is. Chat, make sure you go read this whole article, because we're not going to sit here and read this article to you, but this article is fantastic. I just dropped the link there in chat, and we'll make sure it's in the description as well. This is from cardboardbythenumbers.com, and it's called The Numbers That Killed Draft Boosters. They talk about what's going on and why it's all going on, and then they brought some numbers in. Using the data from the last year of Premier sets, which is Dominaria United through Wilds of Eldraine, they found that on average, set boosters sold 3.3 more units than draft boosters across Amazon and eBay. And because of the higher price point of set booster boxes, it means that set boosters generate 4.3 more revenue overall. And so what they found was that these numbers, when you look at them, completely makes sense why this change is happening. It's simplifying, it's leaning into what works for them, and it's maintaining what, or trying to maintain what we like from both of these and combine them into one thing. Average person's not going to care too much about this, Jake, but I thought it was interesting to see that their Amazon and eBay data, which they said accounts for what they believe to be 8 to 15% of net sales, just to kind of give it full context of how much
they're
this
using
data
this
even
as a barometer to see
exactly.
like this is probably, you can extrapolate this to see how people engage with it on a bigger scale, who goes to the LGS and buys.
I think the shocker here is that average, and we'll see some buy set breakdowns and you'll see some very funny, interesting things in that. But on average, set boosters selling more than collector boosters and draft boosters nearly combined. Would you have thought that was the case?
Yeah.
Set boosters.
Yeah, I think I was never, because I know how I engage when I go to the local game store. Very rarely buy a draft pack, but buy a draft pack, it'll probably be for a set like Commander Masters, because it's already so expensive and I don't want to pay $50 for a collector pack of it.
Right.
So yeah, this doesn't surprise me. It is a pretty steep difference, I'll have to say.
Chat, I just dropped a poll for y'all.
Go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off, Jake.
We'll
jump to you after I just tell them about this. I just dropped a poll. What sealed have you been buying most? Singles, boxes. That's supposed to be single packs or boxes, not singles or boxes. Single packs or boxes. What sealed have you been buying most? Go hit that poll for us real quick. We'll just take the temperature of the room. Jake, what were you going to say?
I was just going to respond to a couple people who've been saying some stuff here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. DJ Longhair will check that DM. Commander is the only format I play, but I think the next move from here is less Commander product, either overall or per set. It's just so much to keep up with. I'm glad they're making this change. It is good. Simplification, that part of this is good. I don't care if it's called a draft pack or a play booster. I don't really care about the name of it, but it has to be a good product. Jank says, no surprise that set boosters sell more on eBay and Amazon where people are drafting. Right. Yeah, that makes sense. No one's really drafting on eBay or Amazon or anything like that. So maybe that is something to kind of take into consideration, is if people are buying on Amazon, it might make more sense for them to be buying the set booster on there versus the draft booster, especially if they're buying to open. Yeah, I mean, look at the poll already. A bunch of people saying
60% of the people hanging out that answered this poll pulled set packs and set boxes. So there you go. Our data's backing it up too. Small sample size theater is working. So look at this by set, Jake, and I want us to look by set and see the trends and see what drove the trend. But when going from Dominaria United through Lord of the Rings, Dominaria United mostly set boxes.
I love this.
Yeah, this is a good one, right? Dominaria United sold more set boxes. Brothers War sold more collector boxes. Why do you think more collector boxes were sold than?
Well, that's pretty obvious, but we can see if chat wants to guess.
Chat, do you know why with Brothers War specifically, more collector boxes sold than set boxes? That is the question. We're going to do this for each set. Dominaria United was on trend.
Let's talk about Dominaria United here really quick.
Yeah. 3,500 draft, 17K set box, and 12K collector box.
Yeah. So the collector box there, you have a chance at pulling an old card from Legends. But that's pretty much it.
Right.
The singles in Dominaria United are, you have a Shieldred that's really good, like a busted, amazing Shieldred. And then you have a Leyline Binding. And pretty much everything else in there, the showcase cards, the textured foils,
sure,
all of that shit is extremely cheap. So like the draft box, you have no chance at any of the good stuff other than a base or a foil copy at Shieldred. So it makes sense that for anybody opening to collect, Dominaria United was not a good product for draft. The set box there makes very little sense to me as well. I think people liked the variants and they bought the set boxes. I can pretty much only understand buying collector boxes of this stuff.
I see what you're seeing though is a set that widely didn't have an enormous amount of pull. It was just your average set. And so they sold average. Let's jump down to March of the Machine. There was some like serialized shenanigans going on in there, but we already knew that Lord of the Rings was coming. And so in general, you see an average set. There was just so much set stuff and variant stuff and serialized stuff that it just sold like an average set. Brothers War sold low, but more collector boxes sold there. Chat got it right. And chat, tell us why Phyrexia All Will Be One sold more set boxes, because that is a surprising statistic but explainable. Brothers War collector boxes, Jake, serialized.
Yeah,
but look at that. It looks like the collector kind of
cared. They cared more about the serialized card,
right,
than the Legends chance.
Exactly.
You know,
but it's interesting to me. It was just overall how that set. You think a set with serialized artifacts and retro frame artifacts set within a set, you think that would have sold better. But Brothers War widely, it undersold even compared to Dominaria United or March of the Machine. It's crazy to me.
Benjamin says, where are the numbers for Aftermath?
Yeah, they are too small to be shown on this graph.
Oh, God.
Look at this. Look at this sealed set boxes. Look at the set boxes for Phyrexia.
Yeah. So in the set product, man, people love Phyrexia because they even came out for draft boxes there. Yep. They were into that set. That set also had... Didn't that set have serialized cards as well?
Yes. Yeah. But very limited. I believe it was
very limited.
Praetors only. Flip Praetors only, if I'm remembering correctly.
And there were 500 of each, I believe.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But with Phyrexia, wasn't that set box the only place you could find some of those Ichor treatments? Or was that bundle exclusive?
Oh, Praetors with alternate art. Yeah.
Set boosters of that, set boxes of that one. I mean, just in general.
What was the big thing with the set boxes? Did you just say it? I'm sorry, I was reading chat.
No, I'm remembering that some Ichor treatments could be found only in set boosters.
Oh, Style is saying set had more slots than collectors for Praetors.
There you go. The oil slick was the bundle.
That's right.
Man, there's just a lot of different places and a lot of different collecting things, and I think that's a huge reason of why they want to simplify. We'll go as we go down, they'll show the sheer amount of products for one set and what it broke down to. March of the Machine, pretty self-explanatory, and then when you get to Lord of the Rings, 27,000, you think they were like, wow, one of one serialized really sells some collector boxes, huh?
But look at it compared to Phyrexia All Will Be One. It's honestly pretty close. I mean, sure, there's 5,000 more units sold, but both of those did really well. And so, sure, the one of one thing, I see that being popular. I see that being something that they can return to again.
Sure.
But I'm happy to see that they're not doing it in like a back-to-back kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're keeping it in their back pocket.
100%. This is what I was going to talk about, or this is what I was talking about with the sheer amount of products. So this is Dominaria United. Pink are the booster boxes. Red are the decks, and orange is other.
Yeah.
So with the Amazon and eBay breakdown just on Dominaria United, you sold 5,000 more set booster boxes than you did collector boxes, but $200,000 in difference. Not that huge of a margin there.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at draft boxes made barely more than the difference that they made between set and collector. I mean, oof. And then Jumpstart. It's just like, why would a store even buy those? And so then on top of it, you got your packs, you got your release kit, you got your bundles. And then you got your commander decks.
Yeah.
And so if you're a store and you're trying to forecast and what you're going to purchase and what's going to be sitting on the shelves, I mean, it's kind of
this is honestly, this is really good info here because, yeah, it does kind of illustrate, and I like how they use different size boxes to kind of, you know, give you a size estimate. It's a very small thing to cut out, and then if you can combine it and bundle it into something else, then yeah, I mean, they're looking at commander decks, they're looking at collector boxes, they're looking at, well, people are going to keep buying this stuff, so if we change the draft box, it's not going to be that big of a difference, but it becomes a big difference in playing and the cost of entry to play. I think that's the big thing. That's the big takeaway from all of this, is it just makes sealed and draft more expensive.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
Pretty much everything else, I don't hate it, man. I really don't. I don't care about the 3 cards in draft.
No,
I don't think that's really going to make that big of a difference. You normally have a bunch of cuts in draft anyway. So for me, it's just the price point of being able to be like, you know what, do I feel like drafting this Friday? Oh no, it's gonna end up being like freaking $60 after tax. I'm just not feeling it.
It is a lot. I want to put that in more context too, but it is going to be more, and it's going to be annoying. Look at this though. The MSRP is not existent on products, but using that data from Amazon and eBay, what they did, they tried to find average prices people paid for booster boxes in the last year, suss out what a new player booster box will cost. So these are estimations over here. We do not know what these numbers are going to be, but with the average box sale price of 104 for draft, 122 for set, 147 for play based on 36, 30, and 36 here at 288, 408, and 408 for your estimated price per booster.
Yeah. That's
147.
That's pricey.
I still balk when I see a draft box at 120, and so because in my head a draft box is like 80. That's what it was when I was a young whippersnapper.
What did you pay for that Wilds of Eldraine draft box for the
100 flat? I was not going to. I was in an interesting situation there because I can literally just spin 180 degrees and ask somebody their price and get like competing offers on the same product. And so I went to the first table and I said, how much for a box of draft boosters Eldraine? And he said 120. And I just turned around to another table and said, have you got draft booster boxes? And he goes, yeah. I said, can you beat 120? He said, I'm selling them for 100. And I went, so I was in an interesting situation. Yeah. Right. Okay. Have a good day. But $100. And that's the only price I wanted to pay. So 147. Sure. I mean,
so let's just say, you know, like the days of 120 after tax or whatever are going to be gone after this. I think they kind of were. Draft boxes at my LGS are like, I think 117. So you're looking at probably like 125 out the door for a draft box. And, you know, 147 after tax, it is going to be closer to like 160 for a box of cards. We're going to have to see where it shakes out. But if it's going to be more expensive for distributors to get things to the local game store, then the local game store is going to have to charge a marked up price because, well, they're also going to have to compete with Amazon and stuff. Amazon has become a huge competitor for everybody who sells boxes.
Absolutely, they are. More and more.
I mean, they're just.
That's where the price is getting set.
This is how Amazon Fresh works. Are you ready? They create chips that are pretty much identical to your favorite chips, and then what they do is they charge $6.50 for a bag of chips that you like, but they have their brand that they charge $3.50 for, and it's just as good. And so why would you not pay like $3 less for that bag of chips?
Yeah, that's that Amazon model. What do you think Amazon Basics is? It's the highest performing thing in the category, made for 50 cents cheaper, and then they put a thing on that says, they put a little label on it that says recommended.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazon's choice, and it's the Amazon Basics. I'm like, you don't say.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the cost of drafts going up is an okay thing. I'm not saying that the cost of boxes going up is an okay thing. But to put another perspective on it, look at it adjusted for inflation. Since 2006, the MSRP of Magic Booster rose from $369 to $399. The cost of distributors only changed once in 2022, and it was only up by about 11%. In the time that it's gone from $3.99 to in 2006 when that change happened, inflation should make a pack $6.
Yeah.
But the price of a pack has largely stayed the same. They are positing that they think that booster boxes or booster packs are going to settle out to like $5. Which is $1 less than the inflation adjustment. And then booster typically are $1 cheaper if you buy them at a box.
Very convenient information for them to just have.
I'm just saying that there's different ways to look at things. And I want to preface, I prefaced talking about this chart by the fact that I don't think it's a good thing that these costs are going up, because the question is this a backdoor? Really quick. Is this just a backdoor way, 5-year plan of raising the price of the booster pack from $4 to $5? And I say I can understand the thought, but in practice, they've just raised the prices on other stuff. Why wouldn't they just raise the fucking price? It doesn't make sense to go through this set booster. Nah, draft boosters aren't selling. Let's make a play booster. Let's readjust how we're designing sets. I mean, talk about the lost money in the hours that it took to redesign this booster. Yeah, of course. But we're still complaining and whining. We're still here. We're just chatting about it. Why not just change the price if that's what they wanted to do?
And they can. And I agree with you. They can do that. But it would upset people. Let's just say for a moment that there was no price point change. Actually, here, let's do a poll.
Yeah, absolutely. 64% reported in purchase set boosters more. That's crazy to me. I never thought about it. Makes sense.
I'm going to end this one. We're going to start a new poll, though.
I only buy singles. And so looking at this, I'm more concerned about the draft experience. And look, we're still talking economics of the actual costs, the cost impact, but we are going to talk about the economics of the limited. I've got a great guy that I follow on Twitter, MTG Arena Draft Data Analysis, talking about the impact to limited. We're going to get into that, chat. We're still talking money. Make sure you're here if you want to talk about the impacts to drafts.
If price was not if price increase was not a factor in the change of draft and set boosters becoming play boosters, would you consider
style? That's a really good point.
Change.
Style said, yeah, their costs have remained the same and their production has actually gone up. You're right. And they are a company, and we're not being capitalism apologists, but how companies have to work is that if your cost of goods are going up, but your costs are staying the same, that margin is getting tighter. They're not going to stand for that too long.
Right. It's too long. This poll is too long. If price was not a factor in pre-release price is gonna go up too. Would you consider?
It's all gonna go up. It's all gonna go up. But they are positing that because the guaranteed foil, the chance for an additional 1 to 2 foils per pack, the 25% chance for a card from the list, etc. Because of those elements all getting added into the play booster, they're positing that the value will be equitable. What poll did you set on?
If price increase was not a factor in this change, would you consider play boosters a good change? Pretty basic, and overwhelmingly so far, yes.
Well, yeah, I mean that's pretty understandable.
I just want to get an idea. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're also you're adding foils and you're adding the perks of a set booster, so it's got to be. It just has to be more expensive. It wouldn't make sense.
And some people may not like that for their limited experience. There might be some people that are like, limited is perfect, leave it alone, don't touch it. And that's probably what we're seeing here in the around 10% of people that don't like it. Now, with the change in price, that's where we get into muddier water where there's clearly going to be more of a line in the sand. But yeah, this is really good info to see how all of these sets did.
The new poll assumes people don't like them at first. Yeah, it does assume that. Anyway.
Oh, it does?
The economics of this, y'all, just sort of make sense. Right. And so I'm hoping that on the back end, it passes the sniff test. It passes the feel test of, okay, I get it, and it makes sense. Let's look at some of the impact. If you're not following Circovitz on Twitter and you like MTG data, you gotta make that change. You gotta go ahead and drop a follow over there.
Yeah, that was some really good info. Really good stuff.
Our play boosters. How is the new production going to impact draft? So they said, first, WotC focused on the fact that you could potentially open up to 4 rares in a pack. Theoretically true, but realistically, it's probably once in several boxes experience. We need to see what would need to happen. 1 rare or mythic slot is a given. You also have the common list or slot. Here, let's open this up so that we can refer to the picture as well. Open image in new tab. Okay, so we can see that. Boom. So 1 rare or mythic slot is a given. So we've got this here. Boom. Rare, mythic, rare. You also have a common / list slot. It's a regular common 87.5% of the time. That's the slot number 7. 7 times in 8 packs. So on average, in 3 packs per draft, you're going to open something else. But even in those cases, you still open mostly commons. And I think this is the part that we are forgetting, Jake. 9.38% of the time, you get a common or an uncommon from the list. Assuming 2/3 of the time that it's a common, 6.25%, you get a list common. 1.56% of the time, about 1 per 3 draft pods worth of boosters, you would get a rare mythic list card at the same frequency that you get a special guest card. Special guest cards are mainly at common. If 40 special guests, only 10 are rare or mythic. Based on those numbers in that slot, you would get some sort of a common 94% of the time, an uncommon 4% of the time, and a rare or mythic about 2% of the time. So practically, you're going to get a common. And that is this slot. This is the big, like, contentious spot here in this entire pack chat, because it could potentially contain a rare.
Corey G says, I got lost at 6.25. Start over.
The basic point is, in this spot where people are saying you could get a rare, 94% of the time you're going to get a common, and 4% of the time you're going to get an uncommon. So 98% of the time it's a common or an uncommon, taking all factors into consideration. That is the takeaway here. This spot, 98% of the time, is not going to produce a rare or a mythic. That's the big takeaway here. You also get the foil and non-foil wildcard slot, which could be rare or mythic. It could also be common or uncommon. And so you get a foil and non-foil wildcard slot with random rarity card. My guess, because the slot's not specified in the WotC article, is that it'll be 75% common, 20% uncommon, and 5% rare. It's guesswork, but he'd be shocked if that proportion's any different. Assuming on Arena you'll get 2x regular wildcard slots instead of foils. Actually, good, as the foil slot was the big difference between Arena and Paper, and that'll most likely be eliminated now thanks to that change. These being wildcards. To finish the tally, you have 6 common and 3 uncommon slots. So keeping in mind, I had to guesstimate some of the proportions, we end up with this average pack composition. And looking through replies to my previous tweets, it struck me I've seen similar numbers before. So, number of cards of each rarity per play pack, on average, just under 9 commons, just under 4 uncommons, and about 1 rare or mythic, 1.12% of the time. Or per pack, 1.12 per pack on average. March the Machine was almost certainly a pilot version of this new strategy. Remember how when this was announced, everybody was going, oh, they're like March of the Machine packs. So they were soft launching this and testing it on us. March of the Machine was almost certainly a pilot version of the new strategy. I don't remember crying that MOM was unplayable or that sealed and MOM was busted. Here's the anatomy of the March of the Machine pack that he did then. So regular set, March of the Machine. March of the Machine had 8.44 commons, 4.22 uncommons. Sorry, I hit back there. 4.22 uncommons. Look at this. Look how similarly these look. 8.44 commons, 4.22 uncommons, and 1.12 rares. And that was March of the Machine. If you like the limited March of the Machine, this shouldn't really affect you that much. Limited. Keeping in mind, I made some necessary estimates for the play pack. They look comparable with the mom packs. They had one extra uncommon. Increases his faith in the guesstimates. So what about sealed? It surely isn't great to have packs with 4 rares in them. Maybe it's not, but think about the frequency of those. Based on his estimates, one pack in 20,000 packs. Here's your quote that you can go tell your friends tomorrow. Based on some guesstimate math, and again, we will share all of these tweets and accounts and everything in the description. One pack in 20,000 packs will have 4 rares. Based on all these numbers.
Okay.
So, as far as limited impact goes, doesn't seem like it's going to be that big of a change. And if anything, it's going to feel like March of the Machine because it seems like maybe they sort of soft launched us on this in March of the Machine. Takeaways. Chat, what do you think? Interesting? Not interesting? Lots of numbers coming at you tonight. You didn't know we were getting into the data.
Well, I mean, for me on this, I'll just say for myself, I wasn't going to be turned off by the composition of the packs. I actually was fine with this. I don't think we're going to get tons of packs that are stacked. Clearly, we're not going to get a pack that has 4 rares and or mythics.
No, 1 in 20,000.
That's going to be very, very difficult. But I do think there will be a lot more packs that have 1 or 2 rares. But remember, if you're in a draft, you're going to be passing stuff to people anyway.
Exactly.
So
that's the big
that's something to
there.
consider as well.
It really only affects sealed. And if you remember going back to the notes from their meeting, they really were like, pre-release is pretty much the only time sealed is even a thing. We don't care about it. It's fine. If it's a variant, huge amount of rares, huge amount of explosive, exciting gameplay, that's a good thing in their opinion. Because that means that new players are getting turned on to this big, cool, splashy, dynamic, engaging, complicated game.
And they're going to put more removal in. Which they already said.
Jake is going to dream tonight about more removal.
Don't worry. There's going to be more removal. You're going to open a pack and it's going to have Doomblade, Fatal Push for the throat, and that's just in the black cards.
I really enjoyed reading through all of this stuff today because I think that it put some very solid context on something that seems like an outrage maker at the gate of it. But I feel like we're so, as Magic players and us specifically as creators for the game, we're so tuned to have our first reaction just be like, well, what the hell about everything, that taking a second to step back and let's understand more depth of why they made this choice, and let's understand more depth of what the impact is going to be on this choice, at least on paper, and see what the thinking is supposed to be.
How are you thinking about what you're feeling?
I feel like because I'm in my 30s, my thinking on this is completely different from somebody who's like 15. Because thinking back to when I was 15, bro, I didn't have any money. And so now you're telling me
I didn't even have a pot to piss in.
I didn't even have a pot to piss in.
That's, people say that when they really have nothing.
I didn't have bread to wipe my ass with.
That's right, dude. We had no bread to wipe our ass at 15. We had no pots to piss in. We had to go outside and piss in the grass. And now it is easier to digest.
I killed a lot of lawns. I'd go in my neighbor's yard.
You have a lot of nitrogen-rich piss that just kills the shit out of grass, and so.
But the thing is, is that If I was 15, I don't have money. And so suddenly my draft being $6 more expensive, $6 to $10 more expensive, because you're adding $1 per pack, roughly, maybe $2 per pack. And so that to me is a big change. Imagine college. We had a half a pot to piss in and a roll to wipe our ass with, but we were having to go deliver pizzas. Yeah, dude. Oh man, I would have begged for a baguette to wipe my ass with back in the day.
We had a communal baguette that we all shared in butt wiping.
The softest part was when you rip it open and use that. I think that with the amount of work that we had to do in college delivering pizzas. Fun fact, Jake and I worked at the exact same pizza place in college. We both were delivery drivers. There's your background on Jake and Joel fun fact for the day. That would have been a major difference. I mean, you're talking an hour or two of working more to go and do a draft that Saturday, that Friday, whichever of the days we weren't working.
Well, drafts back then were like $12 too. Like $12 draft, dude. That was great.
But I'm just talking about comparing it to an hourly wage of what the increase will be for the average person to go and do a draft on Friday night. It sucks. It's obnoxious. It makes sense, but it sucks.
I mean, I don't know why, but I feel like it's going to be more expensive than just an extra $2 a pack. How much are set boosters right now? You know, I went to my LGS and they're selling a set booster of Wilds of Eldraine for like $7.99. Is that way over what it should be? I feel like it is.
114 right now for set boosters of, let's go recent. Here we go. 120. So you got
so 120 times
divided by
36,
right?
No, 24.
$5 a pack.
Oh, okay. So my LGS is just $3 over. Got it.
I mean, your LGS is pretty typically charged a little bit more, but their model is that they try and offer a very safe, clean, welcoming space and other perks in that space. And so that's why they charge a little more premium. That was always my takeaway from that LGS specifically, is that they've got a more premium cost overall, but they try to provide a more premium experience, and that's why they justify.
30.
Oh, it's 30.
Might be.
I thought it was more than 20. Yeah, so $4 a pack.
Wow, so they just straight up charge double what those packs are worth on Amazon.
I mean, imagine the margins,
really what the LGS is about. Yeah, exactly. They have to have some margins.
Right.
Rory says, you can bet Nissa's nips that the prices of this isn't going up to invite new people, especially young people, to the hobby.
Right, but Rory, you know what is going to invite new young people to the hobby? This program right here. It's free. There's an entire play experience that would take hours to get through for new player onboarding. And so I don't think they care to get new players in through limited. I mean, according to the statistics and some of the comments that they made here, I'm talking about Magic Arena right here. Or its older brother that chills in the basement and smokes weed, MTGO. I think that limited Friday Night Magic being a draft, I think, is the anti-Wizards. They want you at the pre-release and they want you at like standard events. They think that's going to be where the new players come in. I just think that Jake said it in our video yesterday. The limited experience, even for a seasoned player, if I was not a person who was like obsessively poring over every new freaking card that came out for this game to try and break them down for y'all, it would be very intimidating going into, let's say, a set like Ixalan. I was like, man, I haven't drafted in 6 or 8 months. Maybe I haven't even played MTG in 2 years. But I used to draft all the time. It can't be that different, right? I would still be nervous going in because I wouldn't know any of the cards. You got to sit there and read. The average time it takes to read an MTG card has been going up and up and up over the last 3 years. Ask Jake.
The commons have like 5 abilities and they're like 4 threes for 1. So it's like, who knows?
No downside.
Yeah.
And so I can see that I would guess that limited is not how they want to get people in, at least not draft. But the thing is, Rory, to your point, the pre-release kits, how can they not go up? They have to go up. How many packs is in a pre-release kit? It's 6, right? Because it's sealed.
Yeah, 6, and then you get a promo bonus card related to the set.
Right.
Sometimes it's a small
little
pack of cards.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like for the guild sets, when you're trying to pick a theme, or you're picking a house, or you're picking a guild, or you're picking any of the school, whatever that was. They want you to have a more pointed experience for those, and so it can be a little packet of cards. But you've got to have the free-to-play onboarding. I mean, in the age of free games dominating everything, look at Fortnite, you got to have a free on board for them, and that's, I think, what Arena is supposed to do. You met kids these days, they love Fortnite, Among Us, Roblox, yet barely any of them actually play it. Oh, well, yeah, that's the... Look at Pokemon. I mean, I was an obsessive kid over Pokemon cards, but I never played the game more than maybe 3 times ever.
Dude, all the Pokemon from like the last 3 generations, I just don't know any of their names. No, there's one called Quaxley.
Well, good. Name another one.
Or Kono.
Everybody, we're going to do a little outro for this video real quick. Everybody say bye to YouTube. I know we didn't get you to say hello to YouTube, but everybody say bye to YouTube. Tell them they could have been here live. So, Jake, that is everything I think that we've got. Full context, all background, all perspectives, some data-backed discussion about play boosters and what their impact will be. Any final thoughts from you on these? Are you dreading them, or do you think it's going to be fine?
I think conceptually making things simpler is cool. Making it easier for the local game store to decide between what they order and offer people, between somebody wanting a pack that seems cool versus a collector pack that is much more expensive, has a lot of the bells and whistles. Being able to combine set and draft boosters to make it easier for people in stores is a positive thing. I think the price is the least digestible part of all of this. Everything else, I probably wouldn't have any complaints about. It seems like it'll be fine. I like a pretty dynamic and over-the-top limited experience. I remember at March of the Machine pre-release, I got a... What was it? Thalia and the Gitrog monster. I got that as my promo, and then I also opened that in the Multiverse Legends slot, and so I had 2 of those in my pool, which was pretty wild. My removal wasn't super over the top, but it was kind of cool being able to have 2 of the same mythic in a pool. That was pretty wild. Yeah.
So the more that can be increased, the better. Yeah, I think
it's kind of cool, man. I didn't hate that. I wasn't like, oh my god, double Thalia and the Gitrog monster. This is broken. I'm not running one of these. Yeah, you know.
I personally fall into the category of I don't buy sealed product. I only buy singles, and typically I really don't. You know me. I really don't even go in draft. The only time that I would play events like that would be with you playing Two-Headed Giant, and so
which we are going to do at Magic Summit.
Yes, we absolutely will. So looking at it from that perspective, I'm not wholly affected. And then if I look at it from the economic perspective, since I don't buy these, I don't care. But I do feel really bad for the person that's going up there every Friday to draft, and this is a thing they do, and you know they're budgeting correctly with their hourly job, and it's gonna really throw off some choices for them. I hate that. That really sucks. And I hope
what I really don't want to see,
it's a good change for the LGS. Those would be the 2 where I'm most concerned about. The average person who just does this all the time, that price going up for their budget, and then the LGS, is it a good or bad change?
And what I don't want to see from the LGS. And this isn't going to happen everywhere, but it will happen in some spots where people try to bill this as like, oh, well, this is the play booster. This is an over-the-top booster experience. This is not like the draft booster. And then they upcharge this to a big degree. So hopefully we're not going to see anything like that. You know, especially in the days of eBay and Amazon, you can really just go on and buy something for dirt cheap. And most of the time you're going to get something good. We have seen videos where people get scammed on Scamazon, but all of the things that I've ordered off there have worked out. So that's just, take it with a grain of salt. It does happen, but most of the time buying something cheap on there, you are going to get what you pay for. So Brandon actually up here made a good point, and he said that Magic is Fortnite in paper for the new generation, and I tend to agree.
Yeah,
it's like Ready Player One type thing.
And better for those IPs, man. If they're making a Doctor Who trading card game, you think people are going to buy that? Maybe the first set. I bet you it's dead before the third set.
Yeah, because people are going to go back
I'm not
to what
shitting
people
on
are
Doctor
playing,
Who.
you know?
I'm just saying any IP. Warhammer card game.
They could do a Jurassic Park cards.
Right.
They could be like, yeah, we want to make a Jurassic Park card game.
Rings.
And then they're like, wait, there's only so much Jurassic Park lore that we can come up with before we're running out of it. And that's why Magic is good, because you go plane to plane and anything can happen. It's just a constantly evolving story. Whereas if you have Jurassic Park, what are you going to do? Start coming up with new dinosaurs that don't exist? I mean, like, I'm just saying. Yeah, and the other thing is, when somebody's already a collector of cards and you already have a huge shelf filled with cards, getting them to want to collect other cards is so difficult. It's so difficult.
Yes.
Thank God we weren't a Yu-Gi-Oh channel. We would have never found Magic the Gathering, and everything that we have would be absolutely worth nothing.
Look at this chat. Even the most bankable IP that we've ever had, Universes Beyond, do. They had their own card game. It doesn't exist anymore. And this game was sweet. I played this game. Did you ever own any of this game? Did you ever play this, Jake?
I think I played it with you, maybe. No, I don't ever remember playing this. I remember looking at these cards. I think I remember you having cards. Good night.
Yeah. So
Beta Black, thank you for hanging out.
Let's put it on the shooting assets. Whoa, Doctor Who portal, y'all.
I'm gonna grab another drink before we jump into this next.
Yeah, I'll take a quick break after you go.
Cool. I'll be right back.
Chat, y'all want to help me find a background for this? We need to find a background for this next segment. Stroy blocks. We need it to be a loop. Anybody got? It's about $5 versions of variants. What should I search for a loop? Magic loop. Let's see what we've got going. I need a good word. None of these. Oh, look at that. Eye of Sauron. Man, missed that one for Lord of the Rings. This one's too much. Oh, this one's pretty good. That's pretty good for cool variants. Plasma Diamonds. Plasma Diamonds loop. I want to see what this does. Ooh. No. Too much. No. Oh, man. Look at this one. What if we did a... You're not even going to be able to tell, because that's going to be in the middle of the card, and you're going to keep going, what the heck is that thing? Infinite mirrors? I like that. This is an interesting one. Infinite mirrors loop. Now we got matrix. We got some screens. I'm not seeing. Maybe we just do mirrors and see what happens. What is that thing that you look into and all the little jewels like moving around make different shapes and things? What is that called? Oh, look at that AI brain here. A kaleidoscope. Thank you. Kaleidoscope. Tried my best. Kaleidoscope loop. Here we go. Oh, here we go. What is this? Too busy. Too fast. Too fast. Oh, this one's pretty good as far as speed goes. Oh man, is this one too freaky? Oh my god, here's one if we want to hypnotize or brainwash somebody. Grocery store loop. Just because I'm curious, not because we're gonna use it. But I want to see. Oh look, it's just a Walmart. It's just a picture of a Walmart. It's just a picture of a Toys R Us. Oh, look at this. These are just carts. Should we just go with carts? Everybody be like, are those shopping carts? Why are there shopping carts in your video? Produce section loop. Optical illusion loop. All right, we're going to try one more here. That one's not bad. Pretty high contrast. Oh, this might be the winner. Is this too busy? All right, y'all look at this on the screen. This kind of combines a lot of y'all's ideas. Tell me if y'all think this is too busy. Imagine a card in the middle. Imagine like all of this blocked. That's pretty good. I think I'm happy with this one, chat. Are we happy with this one? This one's kind of good. So we'll either do that one or we'll do the shopping carts.
Are you picking backgrounds?
Yeah, I'm asking chat here. I'll show you which ones we've got on the vote here. I'm pretty sure I know exactly how this vote is gonna go.
Uh-huh.
But
what'd you go with?
So we got, oh, it's not even there. I have to literally type in grocery store loop.
Oh no.
Here we go. Okay, so this one is the tops of shopping carts. I'm thinking it's getting a lot of
yeah, that.
I think we're gonna have to. We got 55% saying
certainly that.
Saying
we need
shopping carts.
I'm gonna put I'm gonna make a little graphic that says use our TCG link. In case anybody does decide to buy any of these cards, use our TCG link. It directly helps out a cat and a dog.
It directly helps out all our cats.
By using our TCG link, when you order singles, you are directly helping out a cat, a 2, 3, 4 dogs. You're helping out a whole bunch of stuff.
There's a baby.
There's a baby that exists as well. That's extremely cute, small version of Joel that looks a lot like Joel. If you like a baby, if you think that Joel would make a handsome baby, and if you like shopping, and if you like a cat or 2 cats, 3 or 4 dogs, then use our TCG link and it will directly help out the channel.
Brando, thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's actually what I Facebook posted when my baby turned 1 was happy birthday to my baby. I've learned over the course of a year how to be a father, and that apparently I look a lot like a baby.
Yeah. Look like a nice baby.
Yes,
nice bearded baby.
A very nice baby.
Baby with a beard.
I'm going to take a quick bio, Jake, and then we will get this segment rocking and rolling.
That sounds like the Gucci gang. Corey G, this makes me think of the Secret Lair Stone Cold Serpent guy, the boxes. I missed that. I don't know what that means. Wonder if they'll be so far behind. I don't know what that means either. Damn, this is what happens when you're away from the stream. You read stuff that doesn't make any sense to you. The carts. All right, then we get up to this chunk, and it looks like there's a Velociraptor loop that you guys looked at, a Hypnotoad loop. We got a cart fan. Pops in. Darth Brando says pineapples. Wow, you guys went on a real journey. Rory pops in, likes the carts. Says the carts win. This one is so you guys. The carts. Yeah. You got to be a specific channel to be able to rock the carts. And it's nice that I feel like it's like grinding reputation. right? We've entered into a phase where our reputation is at a level to where it's like, oh, Jake and Joel, your journey has brought you to a place where you are now able to use the cart's background. Would you like to equip it on your next video? And yeah, we've made it to the carts. So it's really nice to be there and be that kind of channel. And so all of you have really helped get us to that point. I was about to switch over in game, but the carts have me hooked. Nice, perfect. We do have Pause hanging out. Everybody go over there and subscribe to Pause. Everybody go subscribe to Crack and Jank. Does anybody else have a channel here hanging out that people need to go subscribe to? You're on the meme level for next 1K subs. Corey G, I know, and I will delete the channel if we don't get the 69420 screenshot. Maybe I will send out a pack of something to the patron that's able to get that screenshot so that we don't miss it. I don't know. Whoever gets me that screenshot first is maybe gonna get a freaking burrito. Style says the trick to play Brotado while watching Jake and Joel. Is Brotado a game? Nerds was here earlier, were they? No, we missed them. If they're still here, they're incredibly attractive. And
who's incredibly attractive?
The nitpicking nerds. We missed them. They were here earlier.
I said hey to the nerds.
You did?
Yes, sir.
Oh well, they're still attractive.
They're in our new video coming soon.
I do think a live stream at 69420 would be good, but we might be out of town for that.
That's going to be the tough part, y'all. If we are in Salt Lake City, it's going to be a difficult proposition. Maybe we could have like a short mobile stream. I can look into that. Just stream from my phone. We will have the double mic set up, so sound would be fine wherever we go. But the problem will be the upload speed.
I don't want to miss that.
We've got to have the upload speed to be able to stream. I don't know, Jesper, but I do ask myself that a lot.
Hello, son. Is there a gas leak where Jake lives? Yes.
You're supposed to go pepperoni.
Pepperoni.
Yeah, like you're losing your mind. Okay, let's talk about some
well, we can edit in. We'll edit that in.
What are you going?
No, we'll cut out you informing how it's supposed to go, so people just think I'm losing my mind. We can do it all in post. That's fine.
Jake loses his mind in post.
That's right.
Everybody, what we need you to do as we start this video is say hey to YouTube and tell them that they could have been here live and helped us make this video live with all their good feedback.
No, type in there, use the TCG link. Don't even say hey to YouTube. Just be like, use the TCG link
to buy these pictures, to buy all of the pictures that you see here.
That's right. Buy all of the pictures using a TCG link that's provided to you in the description of this video. If you buy the singles from somebody else, then that means that you like them more than us, and that's fine.
Yeah,
that's okay.
And just remember, nobody mentioned the shopping carts, okay? I don't want to see one comment about shopping carts. Keep it out of chat. We want everybody watching this after the fact to just be like, what happened?
If you want to mention the shopping cart, you have to unsubscribe. I'm just going to say, if you want to mention the shopping cart, you have to unsubscribe because we're trying to get the screenshot for 69420 and every little bit helps.
Yeah, we're going to put a bounty on the screenshot of 69420.
We're going to look at the analytics for this video and you're going to be like, Jake, we lost 18 subs on that stream. And I'm going to be like, oh, well, God damn it.
Nobody mentioned the shopping carts. They're kind of subtle, so you're not going to mention them. You're not really going to notice them because the shopping carts are really subtle. All right, here we go.
You know what we're going to have to find? We are going to have to find for the edit of this video, maybe we drop out the music for this and then we will get audio of like something unrelated to these, like ice skating or like chopping vegetables.
All right, let's pull it together.
Okay. All right, I'm sorry. It's just there's something very special about this background. That's all I'm going to say. I'm done.
There is. There's a kind of a liminal space thing about it. I feel like I'm in transit. I'm not landing.
Right. Yes.
I feel like I need to get somewhere that I'll never get to. Yeah, like this is all you see forever. Rory, thank you for the suggestion.
You lived a really great life. You get to look at the carts. Wait, what? You didn't live that great a life.
Yeah.
You lived a pretty good life.
Fine life. Fine life. You get to watch these carts. And you can also see reruns of only season 1 of Frasier. That's it.
I'll take Frasier.
I'll be like, I'll take Frasier. Everyone always takes Frasier. One guy over there watching the shopping carts, and he's like, please join me. Come, it's great. Come. Frasier sucks. Good. No one likes Kelsey Grammer.
It never ends. What is wrong with my lighting? Is it not good? I can see myself. I'm so pale compared to orange.
All right, everybody say hey to YouTube and use the TCG player link. Here we go. We're actually starting a video now. We're done being derailed by the shopping carts.
Just say, use the TCG link, save a cat. There's a baby that looks like Joel. I'm in.
Don't mention the baby. Don't mention the shopping carts. Here we go.
All right, here we go.
We have got 23 cards. Lately, we have been posting some videos that y'all have been liking. The $10 variants, the $1 variants. Well, we're here with a varied version of that, a variant, if you will, which is the $5 variants that we like. 23 cards, Jake. You ready to get through this? You gonna be able to handle it?
I am. I was thinking about calling this Skull Clump, and then I was like, that is way too funny to me. And then I started laughing at that, and then I was like, I gotta get this out of my system. And so
Skull
now
Clump.
it's
just had to say I just have to get this out of my system. Skull Clump.
It's pretty much out.
Doesn't really apply. It feels fun to say. It sounds weird to hear. It doesn't really apply to the art, but Skull Clump.
Exactly.
There you go.
That's it. All right, we've dissected that. I feel good now. We could talk about this card. It's a good card.
I mean, it's a top tier commander card. You're going to notice that most of the cards on this list are upper echelon commander cards. We are starting here with crazy looking Skull Clamp. There's a good number of variants of Skull Clamp at this point, good number of printings, but the Warhammer one particularly makes it seem pretty brutal.
Yeah, if you want like a weird kind of floating brain thing that kind of reminds me of like Mother Brain from Super Metroid, if anybody remembers that head that you shoot and it goes back and it's like, but anyway, this is a card that's really strong. It's got some weird glowing red eyes. And then we also have a card, Monologue Text, 1 white, 2 other for an enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, you create a treasure token. So if you have that one player in your meta that is always casting multiple spells, and in Commander, you're going to have a lot of people that want to play multiple things. And so this card is going to have a nice kickback. This was a card that when it came out was extremely, extremely hyped. People were like, oh, it's, you know, Smothering Tithe Light. It plays really well alongside Smothering Tithe, Rhystic Study.
Exploded out of the gate.
And now it's really like you see kind of like the power creep and just how refined commander decks are, that a lot of the time they don't have, you know, space for this. But this is a card definitely worth considering around the $5 price point if you have not, you know, got it in your collection yet.
Right Meow is a really good time to pick this up. I think this cart being down to $5 from where it premiered, especially for the borderless version. Meow, you got to look for these borderless versions because they are going to be most often cheaper than the standard border version. So if you like this version, you can get a cheaper one, or if you don't mind it, typically you can get cheaper versions of these, of the extended carts, than you can of the regular border carts. So just something to look out for, Jake. And this is another treatment that, yeah, I'm in love with this lately.
This is a great card, and it's a etched treatment. This came out of the recent Commander Master set, which brought us reprints of tons of stuff. And so this is one of those cards that really helps you just kind of assemble your combo and win the game. We like winning the game. It costs 7 to essentially win the game here. And if you like winning the game, I would suggest Tooth and Nail.
Yeah, right here in Meow is when you got to win this one. If you're playing this card, you really want it to stick your victory con. And I mean, it was a huge win con then. It's a huge win con now. So I really like this card. And talking about these etched treatments, Jake, the artifacts are some of the best looking ones that you can possibly get right now.
This one I just had to put on the list because I just love Gilded Lotus so much. I know a lot of people don't like this mana rock, but this is one for me that if you are the kind of person who likes big mana, fast mana, you already have your signets, you already have your Soul Ring and all of the normal 2-cost mana rocks and below, but you need something a little bit more up top. I like stuff like Grand Dynamo and Gilded Lotus. So this is a card that if you don't have this card, maybe you like the etched version, this is a fun card for around $5.
Now remember, these are all $5. All of these cards are within $5. Keep that in mind as we're going through this list. Jake, the whole set where we had black and white monster movie cards in it, everybody just kind of crapped on it. No one wanted the cards. No one wanted any of the theme. It was just the same cards repackaged. But I still hold that we got some excellent treatments out of it, especially ones where I look in the word horror is in the name. This is perfect for it. This is down to a $5 card. This is another one where when it premiered, when it came out of the gate, it was way more. People were way more hyped on it. The hype train falls off. Man. The anger.
Very strong card though.
Right. I mean, it's just, this is a brutal commander card. So at $5 to get you a really strong horror and it's in an excellent treatment, I think that this is one of my favorite that I could pull for the list.
This would look so good with like a blue neon signature on it. It's crazy. I mean, that it's just the way that these look. And a lot of people did kind of think of this as an afterthought. It felt like these were just like a budget way of them just making some more money. And even if that's exactly what it was, it did bring us some interesting variants.
Some good variants. That's exactly right. Jake, I put this one on the list. This is around $5 compared to a cheap card. This one is a variant that is more expensive than the base card. So don't think that we're saying these are the cheapest available copies of these. Some of these are just like dollar cards, like braids, that have a cool treatment. And this is that treatment. The art here is just perfecto to me. And I'm telling you, I'm speaking directly to you that is listening right now. You're underestimating this card. You're sleeping on this card. If you properly are navigating how strong this card is, you're underestimating this card.
This is one of the few cards that have value from Dominaria United.
Yes.
What it's worth.
$5 for the stained glass treatment of this and these 4 skulls outlining all of these braids. This is such a good piece and the card is good, dude. This card I've seen kick ass. You got to stop underestimating this card. But around $5, if I was going to get a copy of braids from my deck,
card. This cleans things up, man. It keeps it symmetrical and you can play around it.
It's not one that's going to eat a removal. And if it does, you're like, fine. But you're building it into a deck where you're sacrificing stuff is good for you anyway. And you're forcing some decisions. And if they're not okay, I'll bleed you for 2 and I'll draw a card. Boom. Moving on.
Yeah.
And that's each opponent. For each opponent. If none of them do, you get to draw 3 cards and pass. Wow. Pretty good. And it happens the turn it comes out. Anyway, this isn't about how good braids is. This is about how good this art is. I like this version of braids. Jake, I've talked about these a little bit on the channel, but these companions in the multiversal treatment are just so sick. And since I'm in my Reanimator era, I picked the Reanimator companion to be representative. This whole cycle is around $5, some a little more, some a little less. There's a couple right at, but this Garuda is right at $5. And I love this frame. I love this art. I can't wait to go back to Ikoria.
Yeah, dude, the Multiverse Legends slot, that was such a really cool experience. Just kind of like this, almost like Infinity War of Magic the Gathering characters that brought tons and tons of different dynamic variants from all the different planes that we had visited recently. And these ones came out of there, and these are a throwback to kind of the Ikoria variants that came out in, Ikoria.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, this looks really cool. And I like it. I love the art. It pops. It's super vibrant. I'm into it.
Yeah. Really banger art, like Zepper said. Also picked this. Look, you're going to have to Google what the text all is. And that's just going to be a thing, I think, more and more in MTG even. But this is at $5, y'all. And I'm telling you, this in the right deck, anything to do with +1/+1 counters, anything to do with counters in general, planeswalkers, if you want more counters, you should run this card. It's good. It drops at 5 and 2 life, and it's proliferating. You're drawing cards. You're also turning things into treasures. And if you want the Phyrexian version in the Phyrexian foiling that had the Phyrexian symbol all over it,
this is the step and complete foil here that you're looking at, folks. So
step and complete.
This was like the big pimp over the top version of this set. This card would have come out and probably debuted at $20+ just being conservative, maybe even 25 or more.
Easy.
Being that foil version. And now we're so far from that set that people have really just moved on from it. And so when you take that into account, this is probably at a safe place for pickup if this is a card that's been on your radar.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Very low risk compared to when these cards first come out. And this is kind of across the board for how most Magic sets work these days.
Yeah, seriously. If you want a very Phyrexian card, here's a very Phyrexian card for just $5. And then I'm going to throw it back a little bit, Jake.
Judgment.
Yeah, look at this. Going from a card that is really hard to read and you're going to have to Google it, to a card where the fact that it's textless doesn't matter. This was one of the 2010 player rewards. There used to be this thing in MTG, if you have just started playing recently, where you could report via your DCI number how many tournaments and Friday Night Magics and stuff that you went to. And once you got to certain achievements, 5 tournaments, 10 tournaments, whatever, you would get sent promos in the mail. There's another one of those that actually appears on this list as well, that Jake and I both we pulled our lists separately. It's how we normally make these videos, is we pull our lists separately and then cross them and then eliminate the duels. The other one that's on this list was one of our dual picks. We both picked it independently. But Day of Judgment 2010 Magic Player Reward, you know what this says. It says destroy all creatures. White 2. That you don't need anything else. And having that full blast dodge, just enormous bolt from heaven down onto the ground. This is just such a cool version of a card that for $5 you're like, I'm gonna full art Day of Judgment.
Yeah, why not? Right? And it's an old card, but it's surprising when you go in there and you see a card like this. It's just such a staple that's only $5, which is why it's on the list.
That's what I'm saying. You go through these lists and, oh, look, speak of the devil, and here it is.
Yeah. Sign in Blood. Now, this one you could see from the bottom left here is actually from a recent list inclusion.
Yes.
So this is a card that looks exactly like an old card. Let me go ahead and pull this up here really quick.
It is one of those. It was originally a 2009 player reward.
Yep.
But again, cards that the text is seared in our brains. Let's go full art on those, dude. Huge fan.
I love this card. This is just such a good commander card as well. Some people will run it alongside Knight's Whisper.
Yeah.
And so this for me is just like a staple. You can also use it at the end if someone's within, range. You can damage an opponent for 2 to kill them.
Yeah. In a pinch, it is a shock, right?
In a pinch, it's a sorcery
Player
speed shock for 2 black. Yeah. That's right. But it's a really cool card. And if you don't have this card, it was recently printed on the list, which probably brought the price down of those previous versions. It has a lot of different stuff. It has Mystical Archive versions. But this is one of my favorites.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and it fits really well, Jake, in like commander decks where everything is a special card. Like that's my Dahada deck. Every legend in here is, I want to try and get it in the frame of its home plane, and all of the special cards, or all of the sorcery, and instance cards like that, they can't be the base copy. That's my rule for them. And so this is exactly the kind of card that I would pick up for that
makes
deck.
The list.
Yeah, exactly. It makes a premium commander deck list just because it's that cool version. I threw this one on here because I was surprised it was a $5 card. This card made waves.
The big card.
Yeah. When this card was announced, you know, it was the big talk of the town. All of the bears here in the hot tub together. And so I had to toss this one on the list when I saw it was down to a $5 card. If you want to get a scape of a bunch of bears all chilling, here you go. This is down to $5.
A little bit of info on this one here. When this card came out, debuted at 30, and then it dropped down to around a $20 level for a very brief amount of time around September of 2022. And then you had it kind of trend around $10 for a little while before coming down to this $5 range. And it has been now for almost a year. In November, it will be a year that this card has been about $5, meaning we're probably at the floor on this. We're not going to see much more of a downturn in this card. If it's been on your radar and you don't have it, we're at a low risk price.
Sitting here talking about bears and you missed an opportunity to say we're at the bottom. Come on, Jake.
Dude, I'm the biggest Nvidia bear out there, man. I bet against Nvidia all the time, and I'm a proud bear.
Buzz, put your eggplant away. Check out Bearscape if you want a fun version of it here. Yeah, these secret layer cards, we've been promised that they'll never be reprinted in this same way, same art, same treatment, whatever. And so Jake talking about the bottom on this one, I think that is very real. It's a miniature reserve list, pseudo reserve list card here. And so, yeah, if it's something that interests you, pick it up. I put this one on the list because I want to yell touchdown. I love the fact that America, baby, this is just the most USA card that you can possibly find. And if you win, you literally get to yell touchdown. And it's you winning the game. It's so on flavor. This is one I was surprised that it had gotten down to $5 because out of that list, the secret layer that this came in, it was one of the ones where I thought, I was like, okay, that one could actually be expensive one day because it's a win con. I know the card itself is not that expensive of a single, but touchdown, surely. But no, $5 and you can scream touchdown at a commander table when you win a game of Commander. Why not?
I think this card is really cool too. I love Approach of the Second Sun. I like cards that win the game. We've already talked about this before. This gets it going. And yeah, $5, it seems like also we're probably at the floor on this. Let's see if this card had any sort of big move when it first came out.
You have the Paglioso here, if I'm butchering the pronunciation of that name. Really great painting for this, featuring Blood Bowl art. I think it's a really cool take. It's super flavorful. 7/7. You gain 7 life. It's 7 from the top. It's a touchdown. If you're not familiar with touchdown sports, they give you 7 football medals, 7 football somethings for 7 football stickers,
medals, I believe.
Yeah, every time you score a little touchdown. So pretty on theme across the board there. Jake, you can get a Darksteel Colossus for $5 as long as you're okay with it being Optimus Prime.
I'm actually fine with that, and I'm super into it. I thought this card was going to be expensive, and now it shows it really does pay to wait. This is a good card. However, it's extremely expensive, right? It's kind of hard to get out on the battlefield.
Now it's a $5 card.
So it works well with that Gilded Lotus we talked about earlier, right?
Correct.
And so yeah, $5. We've had a big adjustment to the downside. It just kind of shows this is a we really just have to wait on everything. Unless it's a card that's a standout. And not even Optimus is cool enough to have a high price point, folks.
No. Optimus Prime, this is a flip card. The other side has Optimus untransformed in his truck form, if you will. I think that this being $5 is a really good opportunity for people to pick up Darksteel Colossus on the low and say that you won with Optimus Prime.
I don't want to derail the stream, but if anybody wants to explain to me how Optimus Prime's windows never get broken in all the fights. It's my biggest complaint with the movies. Whenever he transforms back into the truck, windows are not broken. However, he is fighting, he's getting punched, he's jumping off buildings. You would think the windows are probably the first thing to go. Windows are probably going to get destroyed.
It's a magical, technological, transforming truck that fights other transforming trucks. And you think that that glass isn't made of, like, at the very least, some very durable plastic? You think he went with fragile glass on his nips there? You know, nips chafe worse than anything. You got to be delicate on it.
This, for me, holds this entire series back. And I like Transformers, but the fact that the windows never get broken, and I would encourage you to find a clip of the windows getting broken, because I don't think they exist. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Don't encourage me to do that.
Just help me. It would help me be more immersed in the entire experience. That's it.
It is a magical, technological, transforming truck. I mean, in that case, where does it look from when it's in its truck form? How does it see? Because its head is inside the truck. Does the head go straight down and looks out those not glass windows? And so he's just like sitting in his chest, looking out his nips,
that is driving a good question, around. Joel. That is a good question.
I'm asking the real questions here.
All right, so we need to find out where the head goes.
I feel like the head like folds over when I typically see it. It's like the head's folding up or back. I feel like it doesn't lift, goes straight down and be like, now I can see through my glass nips. Autobots, roll out.
I'm seeing a lot of people that are saying it's magic. Just looks like glass. He's part Tesla truck. More than meets the eye, says David.
Yeah, there's more than meets the eye.
It's true, David. It is more than meets the eye.
So $5 for Optimus Prime Darksteel Colossus. It's a pretty good pickup right now if you need a big finisher. Talking about big finishers and CEDH commanders, Jake, this was the pull from that secret layer that was not that long ago. This was one of the main cards in it where it wasn't a huge value play, but it was like, wow, that card is cool, and it's a CEDH commander. Nope,
this card
$5.
I feel like just came out, right?
It did just come out.
Wow.
$5 for a CEDH commander or a really just nutso in your Boros equipment deck if you want to put Godo and not Rite of Replication, but Helm of... What's the helm that multiplies you, Jake? You put it on the legendary...
Helm of the Host.
Helm of the Host up on Godo, and you can go infinite and win the game. $5.
This is a fun one.
Yeah. This treatment reminds me of those metal cards. I really love those treatments on the cards. It's nigh unreadable, but I do like how Godo Bandit Warlord is kind of symmetrical. I think that that's a really cool take. $5.
The contrast is really nice. I like that it's dark and like maroon and red, and then you have this kind of like orange and beige Godo right in the middle. It looks cool. Yeah, this is a good one too. Actually, what is this even from? I haven't even seen this card.
Secret Lair. This was a secret layer. We skipped over the whole pack because we didn't want the pack. But this was a secret layer card. Nicol Bolas Dragon God. Talking about high contrast. How about black and white? Line drawing.
It's pretty cool.
Crazy looking from Yuki Fujisawa here. This was in a secret layer where everybody was like, I'm good. Not a lot of value. But then when you look at it as singles after the fact, you start going, wow, $5? That's a cool looking version of this.
This was from stores.
LGS only secret layer.
Interesting.
I remember looking at the layer and being like, I don't really care. I know that we've got another LGS exclusive secret layer coming out soon that I really am into. But with this one, $5 for the single.
It matches the carts.
Yeah. You were not ever supposed to mention the carts.
Oh, shit.
I can't believe you just so casually were like, it matches the carts. I'm skipping that. I'm editing that out of the video.
I'm going to edit this one.
Well, you choose whether or not to leave this moment and our complete derailment about Optimus Nips. Because if you didn't put the Optimus thing in, now you're going to have to also cut this part out.
Everybody hates me.
We're gonna have to. You're gonna also have to cut this out now because I'm talking about the Optimus Nips, and people are gonna be like, "What?"
Chat hates me.
What's with the Optimus Nips? I got to see the Optimus Nips conversation now. I can't believe you said it matches the carts. They're in. I will say, Jake. Now that we're here on this island, let's talk about the island. It does match the carts really well.
It matches them nicely, doesn't it? Because you have the black and white contrast with the yellow border that brings it into the carts.
Yeah, it is a really nice aesthetic. I could live in this aesthetic. It's kind of a liminal evil thing that we've got going on here, but you see, Aaron said they love me. They don't love you, Jake. There you go. I'm thinking that Aaron didn't know which of us was which.
Everybody knows. No one knows who we are because we're backwards to the fucking name. So everything sucks over here. It is all bad. Everything is bad that's going on.
Every scene, every thumbnail.
Everything is bad.
We do it the opposite way.
This whole stream is canceled. This stream is canceled and done.
Look.
All right. Okay, let's just try to get through this.
So if you're looking for Nicol Bolas, the Dragon God, as a Planeswalker for your Planeswalker deck, this is a pretty sweet $5 version. Jake, can't ever complain about Wizard of Barge.
I love this art, man. And if you play goblins, this is a goblin that you want to have in your goblin EDH deck. And so for me, easy inclusion. It's a card that stands out. It is just like, you either like this art or you don't. I do. There's a big club, the little goblin over there. This goblin goes and gets the goblin that you're looking for so that you can win with the goblin. I love it. Goblin Matron.
Even the power and toughness box is a little goblin. I love the attention to detail here. I love that the name of the card is graffiti on the wall that they're leaning on there. I like the little sidekick goblin looking all tough, and that sexy matron there with the spike bat. I'm a big fan. I think this is a cool art style. $5. That is what we can repeat about this one.
Shout out to Acidic Slime, which I don't believe is on this list, but there was also a really cool Acidic Slime in that same style.
Oh my God, hang on.
What happened?
Well, everybody's just like...
Oh my God, you're going to switch us midstream?
This
is crazy. This is going to make the editing weird. Okay. This is going to be a short, by the way. It's one of those shorts where it's like I have more time on my hands than I need to, and I'm going to turn this into a short. There we go, baby. Jake and Joel. What a weird... Wait, are you ever going to change this back?
No, we're done. That's how it is. Everybody just saw a major change for our channel. Fixed forever.
Now I'm going to have to change all of my presets from Joel XCU and Jake XCU. No, put it back. Put it back. No, I'm not doing this. I'm leaving the stream until you fix it. No, you're fucking up all my presets. No. No. Put it back. Change it. How do I change it? How do I change it? You're a maniac. This is the scariest thing you've ever done.
Look, now we're both facing inward too. It's more aesthetically correct. It is freaky looking at you over there on the left.
Wait, we are both facing inward.
Yeah, it's more aesthetically correct. Everything about it.
Oh, I just am gonna have to fix so many presets.
No, just in your head now. I'm Jake and you're Joel. Just.
Oh. You're right. You're right. I can keep my presets. I can rename presets. It's fine.
I loved when this secret layer was announced. We gonna be able?
Everybody's like, I was here. I saw it live.
Is everybody gonna be able to make it past this moment? A legendary moment for Jake and Joel or Magic, I will attest. But we got to move on.
Yeah. It's weird, but let's talk about reassembling skeleton, because when we die, we come back as something new.
That's right, and on a motorcycle. And that's why I like what they're doing here with the reassembling skeleton art. This was from a secret layer as well. A lot of the variants on this list are secret layers, but $5, a lot of these you don't want to spend $30 on, but you're like, I do like that one card. I feel like $5 becomes the palatable price for a special version of a card that's like 10 cents that I want specifically, I feel like $5 is a good price for that. What do you think, Jake?
I think so as well. This is a card that comes back again and again, and especially in Commander, I like having a pimp version of cards like that. Like, I like having a pimp version of an artifact like Gilded Lotus, like we were talking about. If my reassembling skeleton is something that I'm going to keep bringing back again and again, it's cool to have a cool one.
Pimp version. That's right.
Yeah.
And
right.
I want to direct everybody's attention to the flavor text on this, because every single time that you bring it back, you get to go vroom from the tomb, baby, and it slides back onto the battlefield with a motorcycle. So I really think that's a relevant part of what you're paying for here with your $5. I'm a really big fan of it. Jake, you mentioned this card earlier, Knight's Whisper instead of Sign in Blood. Well, if you want a pimp version of Knight's Whisper right now, all it's going to cost you is $5, and it's going to have a cool Dracula vampire on it. What do you think of this one?
Hold on 1 second. I'm so sorry. I'm typing to one of the people in chat.
Yeah, don't worry. We're just trying to make some content over here.
I know.
You go ahead and take a break.
I'm not taking a break. I'm responding to Aaron here.
Aaron, he's responding to you. We could just talk about it at this point, but finish what you're typing and then you can read it out loud too.
I just want him to have a screen grab of it in case he needs it. This is Aaron Isbell. In case anyone ever asks, you're the reason we changed our setup. There we go. It's in stone. There we go.
I'm glad for that.
Okay. Knight's Whisper is a great card. And like we had Sign in Blood on the list, Knight's Whisper is a great card as well. It does pretty much the same thing, except it's less mana restrictive. And it says you draw 2 cards and you lose 2 life. It doesn't say target player. So there is no get to the end of the game and use this as a sorcery speed shock to kill somebody if you need to. But we don't really need that. This is just the if you're playing 3 color, you might not want Sign in Blood. You might want Knight's Whisper.
Yeah, exactly. And having a sweet version of it is going to turn some heads. Much like Mesa Enchantress, I will say about this one, Jake, this is one of them that we both picked it for our video here tonight. And
I know you love Enchantress decks.
Oh, it was my favorite thing in the whole damn world. I looked though at the different versions of Mesa Enchantress. Fun fact about this one, this is the only variant art for the card at all. This card has been printed a bunch. Mesa Enchantress has, but it's only ever been printed with the exact same art. It's got that Krenko feel to it, where Krenko Forever never got an alternate, and now we're finally getting one in Ravnica Remastered. Secret Lair brought us this alternate of Mesa Enchantress, and this is a beautiful piece. This is a beautiful card.
It is a beautiful card.
Yeah, you're gonna have this one sitting on the battlefield for a while. It is a Secret Lair, so I'm more hesitant to say pick up a foil, but I gotta say, with that white dress and that glowing yellow staff and the magic glowing around the subject there and all of the white on the borders, I would assume this in foil looks banging.
Dude, I'm actually so surprised, like you were saying, that this did not get any other treatment other than this ever. I have to agree with you. I think it will look really good with the staff and those little spots in the background for the foiling. I'm sure it does look really good.
Yeah, top tier. I mean, if you're gonna be the Enchantress player, you need the card that the name was largely just like, this is what we're gonna call this archetype. Make sure you get it. Jake, I got all these. I think I put these in a buying video end of last year, maybe, and they've all gone down like $1 or $2 even from that video. But $5 try 'em.
$5 try 'em, man. If you're playing like a 5-color deck, maybe in Jund you don't need this, right? Maybe you're like, I've got my mana base down for Jund. I don't really need Zeator's Proving Ground. I think you do. I think you would want it either way. But if you are playing a 5-color deck, you don't have this card, this is such a good pickup, in my opinion. I know the ones with blue typically do better because it was one of the most powerful colors and all of that. But this, for me, this does not represent the full cycle of these. This just is here as itself. This one is $5. Not a bad card.
No.
Great for fixing.
And look, if you're playing a Jund deck, you definitely want this card. This is the ultimate search target when you go get any target forest from your library.
Especially on a turn one. Yes, you know, if exactly. Turn one fetch land into this is an excellent way to start out your game.
Yeah, exactly. $5, cool variant. Love the whole look there. A set within a set though that I really loved was the Mystical Archive. This is Growth Spiral. This is a excellent card for your green blue decks. And this treatment of it is just, it's beautiful like the rest of these. I you know, when I look at this, it's a language I don't understand how to read, but I look at it for cards like Sign in Blood or like Day of Judgment, where I basically know what the text is, right? I don't need anybody to tell me what Growth Spiral does. I don't need to be reminded of it. And if I do, it's a real quick reminder if I haven't played this deck in a long time or something. But this beautiful,
oh yeah, you can look at this and if you don't know right off the bat, you could just really quickly Google on your phone and it's super fast.
Yeah, and that's true for all of these.
It does get annoying if you play against somebody who has a whole bunch of, and I used to do this. I used to try to pimp out my decks with like Japanese and Russian cards, and it was really annoying. And now I have all of those cards separated from my.
We're like, all right.
Do you remember when I would do that?
Out. Yeah, it's the Russian deck. Well, you would even forget like instant or sorcery.
Dude, yeah, there were just like cards where I would be like, oh, I'm gonna use this just because it's a Korean card, and really like. Especially going into the variant era and how many new cards come out these days compared to back in the day, there's a big difference in playing like, you know, a Japanese Doomblade and then having like a Japanese, you know, whatever new card came out and you don't have it memorized and it has 3 lines of text, and it's easier to just have an English card so that your opponent can read it. You don't have to look it up on the phone. So yeah, but for a card like this, and especially in EDH where people are trying to pimp out their decks with cool art, this makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, exactly. Darth Brando made a good comment that I think is applicable to the whole video. Chaos Warp is a good one. That also was in the Mystical Archive, and that treatment of Chaos Warp looks pretty sick. I will agree to that. That is a really good point, though. If all of these sets within sets, if you remember these sets within sets and you're like, oh, wow, I remember that happening. I remember the ones I wanted being too expensive. Go back and take a look now.
Yes, man.
Go back and take a look at these sets within sets that
you don't need ignored. Us here. You can go back and you could take a look at these and you could be like, what happened with that Mystical Archive?
Yes.
That card really bottomed out. I wonder if anything else did.
Retro artifact reprints from Brothers War. That was another huge one. Great place to go look for cards.
Baubles. You could just get really good cards in all of those slots. Multiverse Legends.
Yeah, exactly.
And here's one that came out of Time Spiral Remastered, and this is a card that I play in Karavik the Merciless, and it has a nice suite of abilities. Typically I use 2 of them, which are destroy target artifact and exile all cards from target player's graveyard. Somebody's about to combo off, just Rakdos charm them, especially if they need the yard or something like that. Now, if you are playing against tokens, if someone is going super wide, that last mode of the card sometimes ends up being very relevant. I just love this card. I like the aesthetic of this. You might be like, wait a minute, that's a retro card with kind of a high price point. It's $5. Well, the retro version of this card only came out of Time Spiral Remastered, and in that set, it was much more difficult to get retro versions of cards, which is why the price is where it is.
Yep, I think that all of these retros are really cool. Keep in mind that we are going to have a lot of retro stuff coming over the next 2 years because we are guaranteed a remastered set per year. And so far, a remastered set has 100% of the time included retro frame reprints of cards. Rakdos, that is a guild. The next reprint set is Ravnica remastered. Keep that in mind as you're making purchases over the next couple of months. All Ravnica cards are at risk of being reprinted at the beginning of next year with multiple versions. And so if you're trying to go buy some card that appeared in one of the 9 Ravnica sets or on Ravnica in like a commander set or something like that, just keep in mind when that set comes out in context to when you want to buy. Jake, this set just came out, but I think I know why you put this one on here. This is what I'm gonna guess. I don't think that you care too much about the art or the Doctor Who or any of it. I think you care that this is a $5 heroic intervention.
100%, dude.
Yeah, dude. I saw you send me this one and I was like, what the hell? And then I was like, oh, this card's only $5.
Yeah. This is one of those cards where, first shout out Walter, 35 months. Thank you, sir. Retro Frem TSR cards are my guilty pleasure. I know, dude.
Great
that was a
treatment.
set. Interesting set. Heroic Intervention at $5. This is a dip that, in my opinion, won't last. It's one of those cards that people gravitate toward because this is your get out of jail free button. You play it alongside other get out of jail free buttons like Teferi's Protection, stuff like that. And this is just one of those, oh, somebody's about to target everything. Somebody's about to blow up the board. Well, not me. And if you put it on like an Isochron Scepter, well, wouldn't that be just the most disgusting thing that ever happened?
Look, $5 for a Doctor Who Heroic Intervention. Not a bad discount right now. This is a $10 card, y'all. And it stands to be seen if they're just going to keep reprinting it. But right now, there's a $10 card, and so $5 is a good price for it. Check it out.
Yeah, this one, in my opinion, aside from the art, it's just like free tendies. But some people do like that art, and I'm sure I don't hate the art. I actually like the way that the blue pops off the card. But yeah, it's a $5 Heroic Intervention, so it's really just like almost like an honorable mention.
Yeah, this is another one that when I see that big negative space, that big white border behind him. Yeah, foil, dude. This is gonna look sick in foil because you just got that big open nothing. I think that'll be a pretty sweet foil. That
Chess King, I kind of agree with you. IRL looking people on cards is kind of blah. Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
It is interesting. Those are our 23 picks for variants that we like at $5. Let us know if there's a variant on here that you really like or some card you found that you think is a really good deal because it's a variant thing. And if you didn't catch us live, you got to be here live next time.
And if you think Skull Clump is a good card, let us know in the comments and let us know what we missed.
It feels like it's been years since we discussed Skull Clump.
Well, Skull Clump is back, baby, and that is a brain on a noodle.
Yeah, it's some kind of metal noodle that's made to look like a spine.
Yeah, it's a metal noodle with a brain.
The brain has scissors. Ooh. The brain has pinchers. The brain has a laser. I'm assuming the top laser is self-defense. And then the brain has a very useless red flashlight. Red light is not very bright. I don't know why you would need that.
This is easily the most menacing Skull Clamp that exists.
Skull Clump.
Skull Clump. Don't mention the cards.
Oh, chat. This has definitely been one of the streams that's ever existed.
This is a stream, and the real stream is the friends we made along the way, right?
That's right.
Is that the format of that?
I believe.
Joke?
Okay. We had a really good long discussion about play boosters. We got to go through some variants that we particularly like at the $5 mark. Reminder that if you weren't here at the beginning, we are not going to be here next Wednesday. We're going to be here next Tuesday, middle of the day, to watch Ixalan get revealed and react to it as we go. Oh my God. Fuzz.
Back to Joel and Jake. This is the worst. I hate this. This is so bad. This is so bad, but it
Jake,
does match the name. It does match the name.
I'm behind you.
You have that. There's that animated thing over there that says Jake and Joel. Walter gifted a membership, and it goes to Darth Brando. Dragon Ball Talk. What's up? Hi from Burger King bathroom. Hello, Burger King bathroom.
Does it smell charbroiled in there?
DBT, you're finding us at an important time. We're changing our setup so that it matches Jake and Joel at the top. Forever it's been Joel and Jake, and now it doesn't make any sort of sense.
There, it's fixed.
Walter
Forever
gifting
fixed.
another sub.
Yeah, that puts Walter at the Stream Monarch. All hail! All hail!
Walter gonna be ending Stream Monarch here. Wedding Ring is also under 5. Is it?
Wedding Ring almost made the video. Yes. We were trying to shoot right at the $5 mark. Our search on Scryfall for that video was anything above $4.50 and anything cheaper than $5.50.
Oh, and Wedding Ring is actually below.
There you go.
So yeah, Wedding Ring is at like 330. So
yep.
Yeah, Wedding Ring is even cheaper, and that's a good card too.
Darth Brando, that's a really good point. It's called Jajam, not Jajam.
Aaron Isbell, this is a person that changed our format forever on October 18th, 2023. Send in a $10 super chat.
Little end of stream monarch stabbing happening.
Changed our entire stream setup forever. I feel like it's always been like this now. It's always been this way.
It's kind of funny. It's so weird that it came up tonight because in my head, I was already like, this is something that we need to just do. And maybe one day I'll just change it and see if anybody notices. But now we've done it here live with the community, and that feels very apropos. I feel like that's how we like to do things.
I have to do a freaking poll really quick.
Okay. I wonder how many more people are going to get our names correct. That it's Drake and Josh, not Jake, not Joel and Jake. Aaron, we do appreciate it. We definitely appreciate it. Yo, let me talk real quick about our Patreon. We don't talk about our Patreon much, but we have got a Commander League over there that is free to any patron. It is proxy friendly. You play over spell table. The format is different every month. And we support it with prizes. Jake and I do. You can win gift cards, $40 gift cards to TCG Player. That, it makes you eligible for when Foil Quest comes back. And it's directly supporting us trying to do this as our full-time job. We have been, I gotta tell you, the last 6 months, Jake and I have been working our tuchuses off, trying to get this to full-time by next year so that we can just quit our jobs and focus on this. And anybody who joins the Patreon, anybody who's been on the Patreon, we got people, Bevers has been there for 3 years. We got people near 3 years. We got a whole host of people over a full year, over 2 years supporting over there. And y'all are
9 people had our names backwards.
Y'all are the
9.
But
10.
The Patreon is a fantastic place to support us if you want to support us further on this. If you like what we're doing over here, if you like what we're making over here, and you want to see more of it more often, honestly, that's just straight up. If you want to see more of our stuff more often, check out the Patreon. There's a link right there. Any level is excellent.
People had our names mixed up for years. Years. From what I can tell.
48%?
They've had them mixed up for years.
Oh yeah, dude. I thought
They've had them mixed up for years. Entire years. Months. Definitely months.
Jake, that should be the follow-up to our intro video. Our intro video right now is, have you heard of Jake and Joel or Magic? And then if the answer is yes, we have a follow-up question of us and we go, all right, which of us is which? And that is the entire video, is only people that say, yes, I know who Jake and Joel or Magic are. And now you have to tell us which one is Jake and which one is Joel. That could be the follow-up to our intro video. No one even knew who we were in that video. And if you get lucky enough to find one of the cards, you got to make sure it's the right one. And they didn't even know who we are if they did know who we are. Does that make sense? No, you lost me a long time ago. If they knew who we are, here's what happened. Yeah. No one in that video knows who we are. And then if they were lucky enough to pull a card that says they do know who we are, they have to get the right one. And they don't even know who the names are on the people. Yeah, but we're going to redo now, it. Though. Yeah. We had a good time at that con. Multiple people recognized us. And so now I want to see if people know who is who. I think that's a funny video. I think so. Jennifer, if you're still watching, sorry about the laughing. I saw that you said you heard the laughing on the other side of the house. I did my Joker laugh when I rearranged the entire setup of the channel here. At least 12 people don't have any idea who the hell that they're watching. Jake, you want to do a quick Dragon Shield giveaway? We've got 190 people that have stayed around just to watch us shoot the shit. So I think we should reward that with some Dragon Shield giveaways. You want to do a secret word, or you want to do everybody enters? We can either do a secret word and everybody has to guess the secret word and just type it, or do you want to do a hashtag and we just let everybody in?
A secret word?
Yeah.
No, we have to do a hashtag. No one will guess the secret word. It's always poop.
Somebody, y'all give us suggestions for a good hashtag to run this giveaway. Jake, you want to go grab some dragon shields?
Yeah,
Is that what you were going to do?
Yeah, I was going to go get some dragon shields.
I'm going to pull up Nightbot. We need a good hashtag for tonight.
Tonight was tough.
Hashtag shopping cart, multiple people.
Tonight was a tough night.
Why was tonight tough?
Well, Joel, a lot of change happened tonight. A lot of intense, groundbreaking, dramatic change.
Look, we're even both looking inward toward the middle of the screen now, like we're actually watching chat instead of both facing away from it.
I didn't say it was bad change. I said it was intense and dramatic, catastrophic change. That's all.
Look how nice it is, everybody.
I'm gonna go find some slabs. I'll be right back.
There's a click in this song and I thought it was somebody opening my door. It's about where I keep the camera normally. Everybody type in hashtag shopping cart. Everybody type in hashtag shopping cart and hit that like button. Walter, I'm good. How are you? I'm rocking and rolling. Looking good, feeling good. Gotta go to Salt Lake next Wednesday. But that's gonna be a fun trip, man. It's gonna be exhausting, but it's gonna be a dope trip. Clayton, I don't know what any of that means, but it all sounds really inappropriate.
All right, I've got some sleeves here. This has a dragon man on it named Draxus the Magnificent. We stood at the edge of battle with sweet victory on our lips. The day the war was ours, but before the enemy could raise their white flag, lightning broke the black sky, turning it the deepest shade of blue. At first, we saw the eyes. Then Draxus, the Magnificent, rained fury upon us, teeth and claws and lightning. Death.
This was written by
and then there's a lot of other stuff that I can't read.
This was written by Richard Danderson.
Standard Manderson.
Standard Manderson.
Standard Manderson. These dragon shields will go to one lucky deck builder out there.
All one word. Push it together. Recess 011. Thank you.
What is it? Shopping cart?
Hashtag shopping cart. And then a fun game will be go back to that video and see how many times I snuck the word cart or meow into that video. I did give up on it about halfway though, because I couldn't concentrate because I was just trying to make sentences with the word now in it so I could say meow.
We got to 168 likes.
168 likes? More. Oh, nice. We need one more like.
One more. And then seriously, once we hit 69,420 subscribers, no more subscribers at all. Completely done.
But we'll try. I did see the people asking for us to stream that, and we will try. We will try our best. Everybody,
seriously.
If we can, how about I'll say this.
For a couple days.
I can't promise you that we'll do it.
For a couple days.
But if we get to 69,420, when we get to 69,420, I can't promise that we will stream, but we will. Did you say blunt?
A blunt of tobacco.
A blunt smack with a playmat. A rolled up playmat bluntly smacking you.
Whoa. All right, we're done. We're done.
I cannot promise we will do a stream, but I can promise we will do everything in our power to do a stream if possible. Yes. That will be something we prioritize if at all possible.
I would like that. Maybe we just make it a gameplay thing, gameplay subathon kind of.
Well, if we can if we could find a bar with good enough Wi-Fi. I know the convention center's not going to have good enough Wi-Fi, but maybe our hotel, we could do a hotel room stream. Let the people make up, fun fan fiction about what's happening in the hotel room that we're staying in.
It's always Jello. Always.
I'm bringing all of the Jello mix I've got, so
we're gonna have a lot of Jello going on there. So And just imagine what people do with all the extra sauce, if that makes sense.
It doesn't. None of this does. Hashtag shopping cart is how you're gonna win. You gotta get in there quick. We got 48 people that are eligible to win this right now. Type in hashtag shopping cart.
If you like Dragon Shield, which I don't know who doesn't. Dragon Shield is amazing. Really good product. These are the best sleeves that exist on the planet Earth, and as far as Mars and Venus, I'm sure that they're really good over there. I don't keep in touch with any of the other planets, but I'm sure that it's really good on the planets that are around Earth. I keep up with Saturn
sometimes. We talk.
And are Dragon Shields popular over there, or is it mostly just gas?
Oh, it's a lot of gas. Little bit of rings.
Okay.
Funny fact, you don't know that it has rings, but it has rings. And Dragon Shields. That's pretty much the main topics of discussion.
David has some nice planet.
Oh yeah, Aaron. A Booth made a really good point. If there's any like 3 or 4 year olds in chat, we're talking about Dragon Shields.
Dragon Shield. All right, you all have had so much chance to get in here.
You absolutely have had chance. Oh my goodness, I spoke their name. Dragon Shield must have won them the Dragon Shields because a Booth just won the giveaway. A Booth. Grats, a Booth.
All right, I'm writing your name on here, and you need to reach out. If you are in the Discord, that is the best place to find us. But if not, bare minimum, Instagram or Twitter, don't forget the address. The address is always very good. As of right now, your name is A Booth. So if you want your name changed,
if you make us guess where you live, we are going to the road and we are flinging the Dragon Shields in a direction.
Which is always a bummer because
there's like 2 big piles of Dragon Shields outside his house right now. He only ever goes one or 2 ways.
And Joel is a retired championship shot putter, and so no one ever finds them after they hit the ground. He just throws them into oblivion.
He's just like casually dropping facts about my life. I didn't tell you if I wanted people to know that about me or not.
Well, don't look up Joel champion shot putter.
Please don't Google that. A Booth, congratulations. All of y'all, congratulations for being here tonight and seeing history made when we changed our setup to match the name of the channel.
That's kind of the biggest thing that we covered tonight. We covered those $5 pickups, which are good. We covered the play booster, which is the end of the draft booster phase. But
that's it.
And the biggest change for our channel since 2017, our stream, our setup, at least on your end, matches Jake and Joel.
Yeah, from the beginning. From the very first time that we ever did. What was our very first video that we did like that? Remember? Because you put like your Pokemon picture behind it.
God, did I?
Yeah. You put your Pokemon picture behind you. It would have been...
This does not sound real.
When did I...
Would you have let me do that? Put my Pokemon pic behind me?
Yeah, I mean, we were still trying it. Anybody remember what was the very first one of these we ever did? Because we were still in like squares or something, I think.
It's impossible to know.
I don't know that it is impossible to know.
I am surprised like no one left after the giveaway. So that means that everyone here is pretty hardcore, or they fell asleep. Or they're doing something else. Maybe they've tabbed out.
Oh yeah, we did green screens for a long time. That was,
and those were Joel and Jake. Yeah, those were Joel and Jake as well.
Yes. Oh damn it!
Is it worth it to just flip the name? Is it rather than go back and try to fix all these old videos? Is it worth it just to flip the name around?
Nobody's fixing anything. What are you talking about?
I'm just thinking, rather than go back and put in the description of all of these videos, hey, this was back when our names were different based on the order of people in the videos. Rather than have to add that to the description of all of these old videos, which is going to take months or maybe even like years of time to put all of those in.
I'm showing behind the scenes right now. Look at this. Who is this?
My mustache is still bad, but it's gotten better since then.
I'm just trying to find if I can find when was the best. Oh, I was definitely there for Kaldheim because that was towards the beginning, I believe. Maybe it's this one.
Yeah, look at those headphones.
This is
Jeez, look at the quality of that.
This is just you. Oh my god.
Like
this must have been on like a C920.
Yes, it is.
Easily.
I'm not going to update the description of that one. We're just going to pretend that one doesn't exist.
I don't think we have to update anything. Best token generators in white.
I'm just saying it's going to be really hard to update the description on all of these and let people know that our names are backwards. I think it's best to just change the name. Joel and Jake are magic.
So in this video from Joel and Jake are magic, it just rolls off the tongue to say Jake and Joel.
I've always thought it should be Jakey Joel, and you don't even say and. It should have just been Jakey Joel or magic.
Why haven't you ever voiced this?
I thought it for years. Never said it. It should have just been
Jakey Joel or
Jakey
magic.
Joel or magic. Not even an and in there, and we could have saved so much space. Just change my name to Jakey.
Jakey Joel.
Space Joel.
Jakey Joel or magic.
And that would have been perfect. That's fine.
Jakey Joel or magic. Oh man, I did it again. This is pretty early.
Look at that. You're gonna have to update the description on all of those.
Of what?
To let people know that our names are backwards.
Jakey Joel or magic. Hey everybody, welcome back to Jakey Joel or magic. Hello, do your hello and welcome to the day. Do your hello and welcome to the day.
Hello and welcome to the day.
Thank you for spending your time with us.
I'm Jakey.
I'm Joel. Welcome back to Jakey Joel or magic. See, we've already got it down.
Never say and. We never had to say and because for years we've been doing it like this. Are you ready?
Remember this Crocs thumbnail?
Hold on.
Look at our thumbnails. I was really making some very similar thumbnails for a while there. Look at this. You made that one. I was like, make a thumbnail. That was one of the first thumbnails you made.
Oh no, I made all of those ones below
all
it too.
All of these were you?
Yes. Yes. A bunch of these were. No, we both were doing this, but yeah, that was like my first time making thumbnails, that Pioneer Sleeper series.
This was a short before shorts were even a thing. Okay, so that was MTG Legends.
See, this is how we've always done the intro. Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
Hello and welcome to the day.
Thank you for spending your time with us.
I'm Jake.
And
Joel, like we've always done it. Joel, do it like we've always done it. Hello and welcome to the day.
I'm Jakey.
No. Hello and welcome to the day.
Thank you for spending your time with us.
I'm Jake.
Oh, here it is. It's a video literally called Guess Who's Back.
Is this it? Is this the very first one?
This was the very first one.
I can't believe you found this. I said it was impossible.
Found it. It's not loading though. It's like, this is from 4 years ago.
Bobby Z is on this. I wonder if Pioneer will be a thing.
2 years ago.
That was when he was watching all of the old stuff. This came out 4 years ago.
Yeah, this was a 4 year ago video. This was
in this video, we're backwards and we haven't adjusted anything so that we're in the frame better.
Yes.
This is something.
It's the Guess Who's Back video from 4 years ago. Somebody said sort by date, and I'm like, why don't I think of that? Because I would assume that before that video, we were in the same place, right? Yeah, I mean, we were doing ASMR videos.
Man.
Who missed the MTG ASMR?
Look at the Erebos deck tech. That was when I decided to go and update the thumbnails of videos.
Oh yeah, look.
That were extremely old.
Okay, hang on. Let me find. This is sorted by old, so I need to go down.
Yeah, the stream is pretty much over. So anybody who's here now, you're just here on free stream. This is like extra innings baseball at this point. The game is ended.
We had to have a discussion. Okay, so it's under this.
Yeah.
Juice and packs and hats.
Juice and packs with hats, I believe, is how we built that.
Damn, we were just like, let's do Pioneer Sleeper Series, and that's all we released for like.
Well, that was when we had a conversation where we were like, we need to do a video a day or something.
Serious or not? Are we serious or not?
We were at 1,600 subs then.
Okay, so this was us testing it. This was right before I moved, Jake, to Boston.
Yeah. So the sticker's backwards.
Oh my God, the fucking sticker's backwards.
Everything is backwards on this entire channel.
Our entire channel is backwards.
Except for the name. Whole channel is backwards.
So this is what I was talking about.
Oh, that's the Pokemon thing you were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, the Pokemon. Okay, Pokemon poster. Yes.
I will say 4 years ago, we looked
apartment.
Noticeably younger.
We did. We did. Oh God, you can tell I just haven't experienced loss, like great loss. Okay. Okay, that's fine.
I've not yet experienced great loss.
Oh.
Yeah,
man,
so that was
about great loss.
This was me banging through a Singleton series. Top cards for Singleton and MTG Arena. And then, yeah, so here we would have been same spot, right? No, this was us testing it. Yeah, so we did this setup a couple times before
That's pre-Buzz times.
This is pre most people times. We don't have a lot of people
maybe Food Time and Brody, maybe.
We don't have a lot of people that watched our top 5 predictions for Modern Horizons. But look, we were still shooting together around Modern Horizons.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, you can tell because the shadow and our arms touch.
Yeah, our arms are actually touching. Our
arms touch there.
It's because, Jake, this is how we sit. And look, this is, I think, the biggest point is this is how we sit at a commander table. We always sat down how we sit.
We sit backwards.
When we play Two-Headed Giant, you're on my left and I'm on your right. That's how it's always, always, always been.
Is this a long-term pitch to change the channel name to make it fit everything?
No, I'm just saying, look at that. We had to stuff us both in the same corner here.
See, because we're trying to match the sticker. How long ago was this?
4 years ago. This was...
What the fuck?
I mean, War of the Spark, we were around here. That was the end of the pre-release? Oh, look at this. You want us to clickbait some... I was in a robe. Wizards is trying Wizards is trying something out during the UK release of War of the Spark, selling the product right out of the gate during the pre-release weekend. What does this mean for the future of pre-releases? Man, we were convinced that was the death of the pre-release. That didn't happen.
Brody says I watched those.
Oh man,
yeah, I'm pretty sure Brody's been around a long time.
I'm looking for, man, it'd be so cool if somebody here tonight had a comment on one of these 4-year... Okay, so we weren't doing it there. I'm trying to find the exact first video. Here we go. Planeswalkers in every booster pack. Huge War of the Spark announcement. So this would have been the very first time that we ever did this setup. I actually don't hate
the look of that setup. The future thing with like the thing in the background, like if those were carts in the background, I don't hate this setup. It's kind of cool. You got the anime version of us there up front.
Yeah. And then eventually,
yeah,
oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. So this was the breakdown. It just pushed us out to the sides and we had stuff in the middle.
Yeah, dude. This was where we were talking about all the special stained glass stuff that was going to be coming out. What a big announcement this was. We didn't know where these were going to be used at this time, if I had to guess.
No,
we
didn't
know
show
that these
up
were going to be in Secret Lair.
Yeah.
It came out later in Secret Lair, like a year later.
I was going to say, we didn't even know that Secret Lair was a thing.
Yeah, dude. We had no idea what we were looking at here.
We found it, everybody. This was the very first video of all time where we did a remote setup. And we've been remote
Alex,
setup.
thanks for hanging.
We've been remote setup literally ever since. We never ever went back to that form of sitting together because it was convenient in LA for you not to have to drive 40 minutes to my place, shoot one video, and drive 40 minutes home.
Well, that was
like
right at
25
the end.
minutes home, but
that was
still.
right at the end of that time, because we had done a lot of stuff up until that point.
Yeah, for sure. And you had been driving, but I also lived in the valley for the whole first part of our channel, so you weren't having to cross two interstate. You weren't having to cross two freeway intersections. You could just drive up surface streets. And
then you moved to
Los Feliz. When I moved in, when I lived in Los Feliz, you had to go through the junction of the 101 and the 170, 134, and then you had to go 134 and the 105, 405, excuse me, to get down to my place.
Opposite camera placement isn't it, Chief, says Opal. Opal, you've been through this has been a crazy night. A lot of changes happened tonight. There are people that were here that are going to remember it. Some people may forget, but October 18th, big night.
Anyway, I'm glad we found that because that's interesting. We used to sit in front of a green screen.
We did.
MTG pre-release is ending. That's a funny video title looking back. All right, that is the true
we'll
end.
Do like 10 times we got it way wrong. Yeah, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. This stream went a little bit longer than normal, but it was
that's
fun.
A good video, Jake. Our worst video titles from the past, something like that.
Yeah, dude. And then we like talk about what we're talking about in those videos. Just like, all right, in this video we thought the
takes we've ever had.
Yeah, I mean, at this point with over 1,000 videos, there's probably a lot of stuff to go in there and look through.
There are some rancid takes in there.
Yeah, dude, there really
We'll start with a video titled "Our Pre-Release is Ending."
Brody goes, LOL, classic California driving lingo. The SNL skit nails it. Which I was like, yeah, you got to get on the junction 134 and out of 170.
Take the 405 down to Cahuenga.
Over to fucking Van Nuys. Take Van Nuys down into the valley. Yeah, dude.
You can take Santa Monica all the way down to Venice Beach.
Thanks, Jim and Jerry. Thank you, Aaron.
We appreciate it from all of us here at Drake and Josh. We love you greatly. It is kind of every now and then my eyes flick up to you on the left and me on the right, and my brain goes blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, it's very wrong and weird, and I fought it. Just want to be on the record. I did try to make you go back and not do it, but then you what's the word for this? You got
what
is the word? Is it cocksure? Is that the word?
I got a little too cocksure.
You got cocksure. I think that's the word.
We match our little label up there at the top now. It says Jake and Joel are magic on the right sides now.
Yeah, that's the right word. Overconfident.
Should this be bigger? Do y'all think?
Haughty? I don't think so.
Is this a better placement for that? Do y'all think?
Whoa! What's happening?
I think that looks actually pretty good.
Yeah, it looks good.
Here we go. Hang on. Let me see if I can. There we go. What do y'all think about that?
Call it Jakey Joel.
Jakey Joel or Magic. Welcome back to Jakey Joel or Magic.
That'll be a shirt. That could be a merch. It'll just say Jakey Joel.
Only real ones know. Jakey Joel or Magic.
That's right. Happy stream Wednesday, Walter. Thank you for the $2.
Walter, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, I hit Control Z and it changed our stream, Monarch. Can I Control Shift Z? No, that doesn't work here.
Jake and Joel, are you going to get a new sticker version now? We're
gonna have a new sticker promotion soon. Dude. Yeah, we're gonna have a new sticker promotion soon. We have
a lot of stuff that we're kind of
pretty
like
consistently doing a sticker promo for the Patreon once a year, but it's just there's been a lot going on, y'all. So yes, that is something that we definitely discuss. And
true loss.
All the patrons that are currently patrons would get it free immediately, and all the people who join the Patreon as soon until we ran out of supplies would get it. So that's going to be happening.
Yeah.
Who was the stream Monarch? It's Walter, right?
Walter. All right, we got to end this stream because there's 56 seconds before ads.
All hail the stream monarch. Walter A, all hail.
People are going to get ads in 46 seconds, so brace for ads, folks.
You have a counter of when you're getting ads?
Yeah, it tells you in the studio, in the live studio, it tells you in the ads. I could click skip ads if I wanted to, but
we can also, there's a button up here that says insert ad.
Yeah, you could put more ads in if you want it, but people don't like it.
I clicked it as I said it, so some people got a really funny experience.
Oh God, Cardboard Odyssey says, nope, ad block for the win. YouTube Premium is great, says Brody. Look at YouTube loves this. They're like, look at everybody's pumping premium right now because these guys are talking about ads. Matt Damon.
Y'all, don't say Matt Damon around here. We've asked you multiple times not to say that.
Gotta go premium. Gotta go premium or never go memium. Go premium or go memium. I'm gonna work on my jokes for the next stream.
All right, everybody have a wonderful night. Sleep tight with your skull clumps, and we hope that you have a wonderful rest of your week. We'll catch you on Tuesday lunchtime. Bring your best sandwiches.
And if you want to avoid skull clumps, stop eating live rodents to get more fiber in your diet.
Get more fiber, eat less rodents, avoid